Happy game day, everybody. Welcome in. The eyes of the college football world and the sports world in a lot of ways are on Ann Arbor, Michigan, and on the Texas Longhorns today. The Longhorns in Ann Arbor for the first time ever in the history of both programs, a regular season matchup between the winningest college football program of all time and the fourth most winning program of all time. Hard to believe they've never met in the regular season, but here we are. Met 20 years ago in a Rose Bowl that was a classic. We'll see if we get a classic today. Welcome to the On Texas Football Watch Along broadcast. You get to watch with us. Us would be myself, Aaron Hogan, live from the 1027 ESPN studios here in Austin. He is Bobby Burton in a hotel in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and he is Jerry Hamilton for our first quarter. Bob Shipley, the coach, will join us in the second quarter. Rod Babers will be with us as well. But guys, how are we feeling as we're about 9 minutes to kickoff now at the Big House?
I'd say this one is about fair for me. Bobby, you got the defibrillator ready. It's going to be back and forth today for me, guys. I'm ready for it. At the same time, I was out there mulling around the stadium, went in the stadium for a little bit as well. And I got to tell you, it is 110,000 folks, and it feels like 110,000 folks. It is a bowl atmosphere. If you've ever been to the Rose Bowl before, it is sunken into the ground. And it is a maze out in Ann Arbor today. So every single Michigan fan was wearing that yellowish gold tent. You see it probably on TV right now if you're watching the station. I would also add this, Aaron and Jerry, based on being out there, it's a little windy. It's about 66 degrees. Go good when the sun is out. You feel when the cloud is covered and the sun is covered. So it goes, I mean, I'm telling you, just with that cloud cover, just like going in and out of the shade, it can go from 62 to 55.
I don't know what's going on, dude.
All right. So it looks like the Midwestern Rust Belt days I remember when I was growing up. I mean, it's a kind of a steel gray clouds. Wind is coming pretty good, and but it should be a perfect day for football, guys. This is one of those. I know Rod Babers said it last week, kind of a run all day game where it's you've been used to 100 degrees, but now it's cool and crisp, and you're ready to run all day and play a football game.
It should be that kind of day. I think that Texas not used to this weather a little bit. This is like I was in Austin last weekend. 100% different. It was not mid-90s, 100% humidity, or it felt like it. This is cool 60s. You're right. They should be able to run all day. The thing that I mentioned last week, I was worried about cramps, right, with the heat and the humidity. This week, I'm worried about hamstring pulls because of the cool weather, Aaron. So it is one of those situations. A bunch of different picks coming in. Nick Saban, by the way, went with the Longhorns. I thought that was a good one for Texas. Other different guys picking up the slack there too. I think a couple different coaches going with Texas. Desmond Howard, of course, going with his Wolverines.
Surprise! And on the Big Noon Fox panel, all went with Texas except for Charles Woodson, of course, the Heisman Trophy winner from the U of M. Urban Meyer, it said 32-21. My question for you, Jerry Hamilton, if you can hear me, is do you think can Michigan get to 21 points? Do you think that's a good number for them, or what's your number in your head for both sides of this scoreboard?
Yeah, I've had 27-20 all week, and I think if Michigan gets to 20, I'm not sure it's straight up offensive points. Maybe it's a short field turnover, right, by Texas, but I'm not sure Michigan's going to mount scoring drives offensively, long scoring drives that get them to 20 points in this game. If they do, then the Texas defensive front, that's not going to be a good sign for the rest of the season necessarily with some of the SEC foes coming up and how they'll attack Texas. So I think they can get to 20 points. I'm just not sure it's going to be traditional driving the football down the field, getting points. I could see something coming off a turnover in a short field, maybe a return game, something trickeration, maybe an interception, a pick six or something like that. Let's hope none of that happens. But I'm not sure I see Michigan mounting drives up and down the field against Texas, not with where their offense is right now. Last year, different story.
Yeah, 100%. And that's really the big storyline of this game. It's a completely different Michigan roster. Really only 4 returners on defense, only 1 on offense. So many guys off to the NFL. And that was a Bobby, a years-long build for Jim Harbaugh, who's also jumped to the NFL with 8 of his assistant coaches to the LA Chargers. And it kind of feels like that's a program that now needs to reload, where Sark has his program on the rise. How do you think, Bobby, Texas handles the expectations that they're given? All week long, everybody's picking them to win this game. It's to the point where this will be a really disappointing outcome if the Horns don't find a win in Ann Arbor.
The goal is channel 10 or 11. So I don't.
Yeah, I tell you what, the idea here for me is that Texas has to be able to. A year ago, to your point, they were underdogs going into Alabama, Aaron.
Yeah.
They are now clearly not underdogs. They are favored by 7, got up to 7.5 earlier in the week. Does a third year starting quarterback help manage that, in your opinion? I think it does. I think that it helps Texas overcome that. At the same time, Texas is playing a lot of new guys. Every tight end except for Gunnar Helm. Every receiver is new. I mean, Jonte Cook got a couple of snaps against Alabama. Jaden Blue did not play much against Alabama. Neither did Trey Wisner. So other than Quinn Ewers, that offensive skill position for Texas, fairly new. The defense has a lot of familiar faces, except for maybe the 2 best in T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. And so, this is where we see whether or not Texas has some leaders step up and some playmakers step up. It's not just leaders. It's also playmakers.
Communication on offense is huge in this game. Communication starts with Jake Majors and the offensive front, especially going center, right guard, right tackle. Cam Williams, a tremendous player, really good NFL prospect. Both of his starts have been at home with a home crowd. He's never started a game on the road, and his first start ever is at Michigan, in a maze out, right? And I know there's a lot of Texas fans there. Communication. Then last week, communication not an issue with Qunn and the new wide receivers. This week, it could be. So that the communication pre-snap, I think, is going to be huge for this Texas offense. Where's that communication with Qunn and these wide receivers? This is totally different for this new wide receiver group. Last year, Texas goes to Alabama. Xavier, third year in Sark system. Whittington, Sanders, all the same. The only newcomer is A.D. Mitchell, but he came with 2 national title rings. He's not fazed by anything. So this is a new communication for this QB, Quinn Ewers and his wide receivers. That's got to be on point today. That's where your offense can kind of get stuck behind the chains. Your script's thrown off. What Sark's game plan is thrown off. It starts with Jake Majors pre-snap up front. Then it goes to Qunn and the wide receivers. Communication's massive, especially early in this game for me.
Yeah, which good communication leads to good execution of a game plan, Bobby, that we know Sark likes to be aggressive in these spots, right? Come out using his passing game, his quick passing game to get Quinn Ewers in a rhythm and kind of soften it up. And that's probably a good, the bones of this Michigan defense. The strength of it is right up the middle with the defensive line, the defensive tackles, the linebacker who transferred in from Maryland is a real good player. And outside of Will Johnson's the best corner in the country. But I think even if Michigan fans would tell you that the secondary beyond him is untested and maybe could be gotten today by Texas with the variety of receivers they can throw at him. You think it's a heavy passing game plan for the Longhorns in this one?
Talking to Rod Babers pregame, he kind of thinks, and Bob Shipley said the same, throw to set up the run. They think is going to be Sark's, kind of game plan going into this. I think, interestingly, Texas won the toss. And we talked about this all week. I thought they were just going to defer. They took the ball.
Yeah,
Texas took the ball after that, and it's a big one. That's a big move. That's anti-Sark.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame, Bobby. Yep. We talked about the pregame after you lost your connection this morning. Your biggest concern playing at Michigan today to start the game was if you kick the ball, if you win the toss defer and you kick the ball to Michigan, they have a 14-play, 80-yard drive and put a touchdown on the board against you. Half the first quarter's gone, and then they got the game in control how they want it. And you already start to press a little bit because you're watching the clock. You're watching them constrict the clock and possessions. I think this is a game where you try to get the extra possession. And that's why I think Sark took the ball. I don't think he took the ball to be cocky and saying, we're going to go down and score on you, Michigan. I think he took it because possessions are so meaningful in this game. And the last thing you want to do is kick it to Michigan. They put up some 14-play, 80-yard drive, and you look up and there's 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Can't have that.
Yep. Against Fresno last week, they were out of 133 teams. They were 132nd in time between snaps. That was against Fresno. I mean, that's going to be what they want to do when they have the ball, bleed that clock, and protect a young quarterback and try to run the ball. Texas taking the ball to start it. I'm assuming that was a game plan Sark has decided on before they even had the toss. Let's take the ball, take that possession, and see if we can put something on the board early. So the Longhorns will receive the opening kickoff, and it's bouncing around inside the 5-yard line.
Good return by Matthew Golden. I didn't like the ball dribbling on the ground there on a kick return, but he snaps it up, gets out to about the 25-yard line. Looks like Longhorns are going to start in reasonable field position, not behind the chains or not deep in its own possession.
G on this board, not me, said Jaden Chapman wearing 88 today. Going to see some big boy personnel. That means Jaden Chapman and Malik Ogbo wearing big jumbo tight end numbers, guys.
I like it. Well, and that the interior of that O-line is going to be tested here in a big way, and they weren't great last week. The tackles were good. Got to be strong at the point of attack. Longhorns on first down.
I'm behind y'all in the feed, so I'll wait for your cheers. Last week I was 8 seconds ahead. This week I think I'm 8 seconds behind.
All right, a little quick one out. Play action to Jaden Blue in the flat. And that Michigan's going to tackle. You're not going to break a lot of tackles against this Michigan defense. This is a team that's won 23 consecutive games on their home field. They expect to win football games at this point in that program, despite the challenges offensively. Longhorns attacking with a second down here.
Oh boy, already a snap infraction.
I think that's Cam Williams. You mentioned it, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's had 2 starts of his career, their home games. This is a big deal for him today. There's going to be some jitters for him early in this game because he hasn't started on the road before. And he's a very talented player. I think he's going to play his way into a potential first or second round draft choice this season as the season moves along. But this is a big game for him, especially in the first quarter, getting comfortable in an environment he's never started a game in.
Michigan looks absolutely suffocating right now. That was a throwback screen that never had a chance.
Yeah, now it's third and long.
Texas wanted to be 3rd and 13 in the first drive of the game after you take the ball.
Yeah, this drive's not. It's got everything we talked about: execution, communication, and Michigan's going to play really fast on defense. We know that. That's the strength of this team. They hang their hat on it, and Longhorns have to deal with the third down. Be careful here.
And look, we said this. They're going to attack, and I've been saying this for months. They're going to attack Texas' right side of the offensive line. DJ Campbell and Williams hold up?
Big time catch by Isaiah Bond.
Down the field. Texas with the first down of the game, and it's a big one. They brought a blitz, and Isaiah Bond got behind the secondary. And great throw by Qunn too, by the way.
Great throw by Qunn Ewers.
Yep. Big time play, Isaiah Bond.
Boy, that flips the field, guys. You're almost into kick, field goal position. And boy, on a 3rd and 13, when things were not going great in that first drive, by the way, the defense, the offensive line picked up the blitz coming from that right side. Qunn had plenty of time and made a great throw.
Look, that's the whole thing. If DJ Campbell and Cam Williams hold up in pass pro, Texas is going to have wide receivers running open this game. This is not the same playmaking Michigan secondary a year ago. Will Johnson's a really good player. Keon Sabb's gone. Sanistrill's gone. Rod Moore ACL in the spring. If Texas can pass pro, especially on the right side, they're going to have people open.
Yeah, that was several people pointing out that the Longhorns went max protect there. They did. They kept everybody in, only 2 in the route. And Isaiah Bond got the look they were looking for there. And how about that? There, you talk about guys who've played in big games before, Jerry and Bobby. Isaiah Bond, played in the Final Four last year. He played in the Iron Bowl. That's the guy is going to step up in these spots.
Hey, played Michigan last year in the playoff. Yep, no doubt.
Big time get for Texas. Let's see if they can build on that now. 3rd and 13 wasn't looking good, and now they're back to a fresh set of downs. All right, there's an overthrow there to Juan Davis by Qunn Ewers. They haven't tried a run play yet. Not surprising. Coming out heavy pass here.
Let's get some points on the board, guys.
Hey guys, at worst, I mean, not that 3rd and 13 completion. I mean, even if you are forced to punt here, you're going to punt them deep and put their offense in a challenging spot. Let's see if they can build on it, though. Points would be huge on this first drive.
Testing the outside, not the inside.
Smart. That's a 5-yard gain. Jaden Blue 5 and falling forward. That makes it, that's a run right there, guys, that makes you start thinking about 4th down. If you don't convert here, you can probably think 2 downs potentially.
Did you see that?
If you can get
that reverse action, Jerry?
Yeah.
Notice the reverse action with Qunn to Jaden there. Held the linebackers a little bit, probably.
You want to get, this is a game about getting linebackers in false steps if you're Sark. You want to get them false stepping as much as possible.
Oh, nice inside screen action there from Sark.
Love that play. All eyes were on the Jaden Blue, in motion, it looked like, and they came back underneath it. That was a really sharp play.
First inside duo run. 7th player of the game, or 6th offensive player of the game, Jerry. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Well, and that's 2 for 2 on 3rd down now, guys, on this drive. The play calling on point. Sark had a game plan that he's been working on all off season for this one, and so far, pulling out some of the early bag of tricks. Love the script so far, guys. Come in the blitz.
He threw it away. He's lucky there was somebody out there, because otherwise that was grounding. He had no intention of completing that pass.
Nope. That was a good blitz. They brought double blitzers on that one from the right side.
Yeah.
But Qunn avoided a problem, kept it to the 3rd and 7 here. See if the Longhorns can go 3 for 3 against this great defense on 3rd down.
Pretty good matchup there. You see Sark with his play sheet, Martindale with his play sheet. This is a heck of a matchup now because Texas had enough success on this first drive to where Martindale's he's going to have to maybe start thinking about a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. Great job, Qunn Ewers.
There you go. Qunn using the legs. Nice job. That's there is a flag on the play, I thought.
No.
Well, at least our score sheet gave us that there is a flag on the. I didn't see it dropped though.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, good.
Oh, well, the broadcast is behind our score sheet. My apologies. There's about to be a penalty.
Cam
Williams again. Guys, that's 2 on Cam Williams on this drive. They overcame it the first time. So far, Qunn Ewers has been really sharp on this drive. Just ran for a run. He's, 4 for 7, 42 yards.
Look, here's the good thing for Texas, though. They're still mounting a drive while Cam Williams is getting his nerves out of the way. Now, if you can get some points here while Cam Williams has his nerves, that's a good sign for Texas. Because that's 2 false starts. Normally, those drive killers against a really good defense.
Yeah, Longhorns have overcome the first one. See if they can do it again.
Oh, throw the flag. He drove him when he's out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a penalty right there, but didn't get called.
No, that's just a bad non-call.
Yeah, it almost happened to where the officials were so far into the bench that they maybe didn't see it.
Yeah, that's definitely should have been a flag.
Sark went hurry and they were ready.
All right, another 3rd down here for Texas. But almost five minutes into this opening drive, after winning the toss and taking the ball, Sark and the Longhorns on the move here. But another 3rd down. They're 3 for 4 so far. Or 3 for 3.
That play was to set up something coming up.
Look, they have 8. They have 7 at the line of scrimmage. Texas daring them to do it. Yes! Woo!
Wow. No, nice throw. Qunn Ewers with a touchdown pass.
DeAndre Moore, baby. He's on the board. We worried where he was all last week. He's on the board.
I think.
How about that?
Oh,
There's a flag down.
There's
Holding
a
Cam Williams.
no. Number 56. I think they got Cam Williams again.
They did.
Three penalties on the drive, guys. 3 penalties on the drive for 56.
This is the whole deal in this game. I mean, they need Cam Williams to play really well today.
I don't know that that's a hold, though. Do you guys?
It's not in the Big 12. It's not in the Big 12.
Huh. That's a killer right there, y'all.
That would have been 6.
I don't know that he held him, but now 3rd and 21. Got to be careful here. Quinn's been sharp so far, though. Uh-oh. All right. Well, penalties have probably forced us into a field goal decision here for Burt Auburn.
Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham played that entire series. Let's see what we got here. Burt, we need you, buddy. Missed it.
Yeah, there you go. That is a drive that stalls out because of penalties. 3 penalties for the Longhorns on the drive, all on Cam Williams. And Longhorns can't overcome it. Burt Auburn wide. Looks like they had pressure coming off that left side, too.
Yeah, Burt, well, I mean, that he wasn't even close. I mean, he missed it by 8 yards. Right.
All right, Michigan dodges the first bullet, a 13-play, 51-yard drive. Qunn Ewers was outstanding, 6 for 9, and had a touchdown pass. It was a beauty rolling to his right to DeAndre Moore, but that's off the board, and half the first quarter is really over. That says Michigan defense huffing and puffing already. Well, it's early yet, but yes, they did. I mean, what can you take from that drive, guys? No points, so that's disappointing. 3 penalties, but did move the ball on that defense. I have to feel pretty good about Sark's script there.
Yeah, I think, look, Cam's going to have to settle down because, like I said, Texas has made some big plays. Qunn made some plays there to get him down the field despite 3 penalties by Cam himself. Normally that takes you out of anything, but at least Texas had a scoring opportunity. But, with Cam looking nervous, what is Wink Martindale going to do? He's going to attack him more now. So how does Cam play? Does he settle in? Does he have issues in this game? That's going to be big for the Texas offense. But I like what Sark did. Again, if they give Qunn time, people are going to be open in this game. They're going to be able to move the ball.
Yeah, I think that's what you saw. And as that message points out, that was a ticky-tack hold. I mean, it was as Qunn rolled to his right, it was just I didn't see much of a grab of a jersey. I mean, he might have derailed him a little bit, but at the same time, I didn't see a hold. Kept his hands inside the pads, and that's one they were looking for there. It felt like on Big Cam Williams, but not a great drive for him. Self-inflicted wounds for the Longhorns. Did get 55 passing yards. They ran for 16 on the drive. Do want to tell you our first quarter is brought to you by our friend Anthony Hippolito. Vote for Anthony, as we say. He is my good buddy, and he's running for sheriff of Hays County. So if you live in Hays County, when you go to the ballot box in November, I want you to vote for him for sure. And tell your friends who maybe live in Hays County. Anthony, I've known him 25 years. He's got a 3-decade career in law enforcement, retired from the Austin Police Department, and then currently working at the Hays County Sheriff's Office. He's already been endorsed by the sitting sheriff, Sheriff Cutler. Make your voice count with Anthony Hippolito for Hays County Sheriff. Safety, integrity, and transparency come first with Anthony. Decades-long resident of Hays County, committed to enhancing public safety, protecting our schools, strong focus on tackling the fentanyl crisis as well, which has been a big problem in Hays, wants to ensure that our law enforcement community stays safe and informed, and the people of Hays County, more than 30 years. I encourage you to vote for Anthony Hippolito. When you go to the ballot box, you can't go wrong. It's not about parties. It's not about sides of the aisle for Anthony. It's about doing it right and enforcing the law and keeping you safe. So vote for him. He brings you the first quarter, I should say. He's also a huge on Texas football fan. He's probably watching right now. All right, guys, here we go. Texas for the first time on defense against this Michigan offense. They're coming out in a spread attack, it looks like. A bit more of a open look so far for Michigan than what we saw last week.
Now their procedure. That's good. Turnabout's fair play. I looked at that play again. That was not a hold, guys.
Yeah. That was my original thought. The officials already involved here because
for the home officials.
Well, and also they didn't call the late hit out of bounds, which was clearly a late hit by Will Johnson, and that was called, which took it 6 points off the board. Those are two critical, I think, misses by the officials in this game so far. Unfortunate.
Power run to the left. Yeah.
That's going to be the big question of this game: how Texas holds up against this run game, and
who got cut there? I think it was. I think this side defensive end. Gonna have to see who's. I think it may be Trey Moore had a bad rep there. No, they moved. Okay, let's see what they're doing.
All right, Texas was able to overcome third and long a couple times, or long down situations on their drive. See, this is a Michigan offense not equipped to handle 1st and 15. We'll see if Texas can stiffen here.
There you go. 3rd down. Let's go. This is going to be key money down for Texas on D.
Yeah, this is where you want to be against this offense. This quarterback, Davis Warren, a gray shirt walk-on, originally battled leukemia when he was in high school. And what a great story he is to fight back and become the starting quarterback at Michigan. But it's almost like, guys, Davis Warren won this.
Colin Simmons in. Colin Simmons is in this package. 3rd and long. There we go, Texas.
All right, and there you go. The first 3 and out for Texas. Yeah, that's what you mean. The penalty helps, the offsides or the procedure penalty for Michigan to back them up a little bit. And again, Davis Warren, you love the story for the young guy, but you talk to Michigan folks. I know you have, Jerry, that he kind of won the starting job by default at some level. That Alex Orji just didn't play well in camp and through the offseason, and Jake Tuttle is just a kind of a journeyman quarterback. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him in this game today.
Urban Meyer said something so great. He was like double Loveland, and I'm going to go a step further. It's if Loveland is not the guy Warren's throwing it to, how's he going to work through his progressions? Is he going to be accurate enough if Texas has good coverage? He was not. They had a little pressure from Colin Simmons, obviously. That's a great bounce on the punt for Texas, by the way. Hell of a bounce. But that's going to be the key. If Davis Warren, how many passes are not to Loveland, and how accurate is he on those passes? That's going to be huge for the Michigan offense going against the Texas secondary today.
Yep. Yeah, that is, the Longhorns with press coverage. Colston Loveland is one of those first-round draft picks. He's the really only returning impact player on the offensive side, and outside of Donovan Edwards, the running back, who we saw on that drive. But Colston Loveland, the key, especially in key critical situations like that, guys. 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s. You got to make sure you know the tight end. They did that time. And Bobby, the pressure was good. You saw Colin Simmons get some pressure. What'd you see there?
I yes on the pressure, but the key thing for me was Jade Barron on Colston Loveland.
Yeah,
Jade was manned up on him. That's what they're either going to man him or going to bracket him today. That's the one. That was not a high percentage play for Michigan.
No.
3rd and 7. He ran short of the sticks too. It wasn't like it would anyways, that's an interesting play call. We'll see if they can keep Michigan behind the sticks all game. That's great.
Yeah. Well, Longhorns need to capitalize now. They have great field position here on their second drive, halfway through the first quarter. We'll see if Sark attacks here. Qunn, the one thing you can say, Cam Williams has had some hiccups here in this first quarter, but Quinn Ewers looks sharp, looks relaxed, looks like he's ready to have a big game. And as you said, Jerry, if they protect him here, they're going to be receivers open. We've already seen that.
Yeah, no doubt, because Michigan just look. Will Johnson's really good. They have good front 7, but their secondary lost. I mean, we talk about what Texas lost at wideout. Look at what Michigan lost in terms of their playmakers in the secondary. Sanistril was an All-American, 6 interceptions. Rod Moore's out with an ACL. He was returning. That was a big injury for Michigan in the spring. And then Keon Sabb transfers to Alabama, another safety, and then another one of their corners graduated that had an interception. That's a lot of playmakers to replace in one off season. Texas is working through that at wide receiver and tight end. Michigan's having to work through that in their secondary. And that puts a lot of pressure on guys that haven't played a lot of football in that Michigan secondary. They have some guys that have played, don't get me wrong, but they're not that level guys. I mean, Michigan lost a lot of interceptors, playmakers on the ball, especially at that nickel and safety position. I think they're okay at corner. What's that nickel and safety spot going to look like against this Texas speed if the offensive line can pass protect for Qunn? I think they're going to struggle.
All right, Texas will have their second drive here in our first quarter, brought to you by vote for Anthony Hippolito for Hays County Sheriff. Somebody said, what is the consequences of this game? Obviously, a Texas win. It's 2 wins where you probably need 10 to make the playoff. Big picture.
That's right.
It'd be a huge statement win for Texas to have their second consecutive road win against a blue blood in as many years with Matthew McConaughey on the sidelines. What's the biggest consequence for you in this game, Jerry?
You nailed it, Aaron. It's twofold if you win. If you win, you have 2 games to play with the rest of the schedule and still make the playoff. And then the other thing is just another huge recruiting opportunity. Win nationally. Everybody's watching this. Every high school kid's watching this game unless they're at a college game somewhere else right now. Same thing as Alabama last year. So twofold. Biggest thing for this season in the games is it gives you margin for error to still make the playoff.
Break for Texas there. Ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Still found its intended target, Gunner home for a big play, and the Longhorns are back in Michigan territory and back in business. Missed a field goal from Bert Auburn wide right on their opening drive, and 3 of their own penalties were the biggest factors there. Michigan wasn't really stopping Texas. Texas was stopping Texas. See if they can continue to put the accelerator down here. That was a nice crossing route for Gunner Helm, then a 3-yard run for Jaden Blue, and the Longhorns are moving fast.
These 3-yard runs are imperative for Texas. Imperative. Maybe late in the game you start to bust something in the run game, but right now getting a +2, +3, that puts Sark in a great play calling position in the passing game.
Little quick RPO action there for Qunn.
I completely agree with Jerry. You have to. It's the no yard, the -2 that hurts you. The +2, +3, it keeps you on schedule at least. It doesn't put you ahead of schedule, but it keeps you on schedule. And in a big game, sets up a 3rd and 2 as opposed to a 3rd and 7.
Interesting play call here for Sark, because with Cedric Baxter, you'd probably run this football. What do you do now? This is kind of the first time you get into the games where Cedric Baxter, you probably know what Sark would do. What do you do now? Trey Wisner in the game at running back.
There you go. First down, Texas. First and just outside the high red zone here. Longhorns were 7 for 7 in the red zone attempts last week. This is a big factor.
Jaden Blue's hurt. Jaden Blue is hurt.
That's not good.
Nope.
He took a shot on his ribs, it looked like.
No, knee.
Grabbing his knee.
Knee.
Oh, boy. 5:12 to go in the game. That's a big factor right there, watching him limp off. We know the depth issues at that position.
I think he just took a helmet on the side of it.
Good. Let's hope for the best here. What do we got now?
They're just putting the clock back up.
But how about that, guys? You cross your fingers for Jaden, but how about getting a first down on a 3rd and short against this defense, really off left tackle?
In the run game.
Yeah, in the run game. That's big. And now outside the high red, this is, Michigan's game plan all week has been bend but don't break here, and see if the Longhorns can punch one in.
Ball security. Ball security.
Yeah, ball security. Look, Longhorns need points here. They've had the ball for the majority of the first quarter. They don't have points on the board yet because Bert Auburn missed a field goal. If even if Michigan forces a field goal here, Michigan would feel all right that they're not down further.
Look, you're so right. Texas needs the points because the game plan right now is perfect against Michigan. Michigan defensive tackles, they're playing more snaps this year than they had to last year. That wears as this game moves along.
Touchdown, Gunner Helm. Boy, you really like
Gunner
what you're
Helm's
seeing.
been the guy. Gunner Helm's
really like
what
you're seeing, though, from Qunn Ewers, man. The poise to step up in the pocket, understand that you got a pocket in front or he can step into it, and then instead of running, finding his tight end streaking open to the post.
Great point. Hey, Qunn Ewers looks tremendous in this game, guys.
Yep.
Tremendous. Congrats to Qunn on a great start.
21-yard touchdown strike for Qunn. 9 for 12, 103 yards and a touchdown now in this quarter. He also scrambled for a first down. Safe to say, guys, Qunn loves this big game atmosphere. He steps up and plays his best in these games.
Hey, by the way, the defensive back for Michigan made a move like they were in zone, covering helm, but they were in man. He almost went for a switch in man.
Well, and we talked about it all offseason. We talked about it coming out of the Colorado game, guys, or Colorado State. Just so many weapons. I mean, there's such an array of people. We've already seen Isaiah Bond with a big catch down the field. Matthew Golden has made plays already. Now it's Gunnar Helm with a couple of big plays so far. He's been your leading receiver. You're just seeing the number of guys who can hurt you. We knew that going in, but you're seeing it in full effect for Sark right now.
When you have about 6 wide receivers and the slowest guy runs 10-8, who does that open up an offense for? Your tight end.
Yep.
Because Colorado State really their coverage, they appreciate the speed of Texas. I get lost in my words. Michigan appreciates the speed of Texas. When you have that much speed at wide receiver, your tight end gets great matchups. And Sark will hunt those matchups.
Yep, and this was everything we talked about. This first quarter, outside of a couple penalties and a missed kick, has gone to script for Texas. 125-27 total yards to 8. They're wearing out those defensive tackles at this point in this first quarter. They're having to play a lot of snaps, and the offense has controlled the ball. But Michigan's only had the ball for 4 plays right now.
Yeah, Michigan's only had to play. We're getting a lot of questions in the chat about Jaden Blue. I have not heard anything.
Yeah, that's a big factor now to watch. Not even in this game. Yeah, 18-3 so far, Bobby. You're kind of breaking up right there.
Yeah, Bobby's getting a little stuck
18
there.
18 plays to 3 right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And Jerry, average yards per play, 7. 7 yards per play on the 18. That's pretty good.
This could not, other than missing the opening field goal, this could not be going any better for Texas. That first 3 and out defensively was massive in this game for Texas, though, because the Michigan defense, again, I'm going to keep going back to this. Last year, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant averaged 30 to 32 snaps a game. They played 50 against Fresno State last week. If they have to play 50, 52 snaps in this game, they are going to be tired, and they're really good players, and they're going to be a first, second-round draft pick level players. But that's a major change in snaps that they were asked to play last year versus this year. And Texas is those 2 3-yard runs on the interior. That is good news for Texas because Michigan isn't getting instant penetration. That is big in this game. If Texas is moving those guys and those guys start to get tired, even if they're just holding point of attack with them, as they get more tired, the Sark's game plan looks like it could really, really work today, guys. Again, got to protect the football. But I'll say this offensive drive for Michigan, if they don't get 2 or 3 first downs right here and possess the ball a little bit, it's going to be interesting to see how Sark attacks them.
Well, and I think that's to what you said is on point. What Bobby said, 18 plays. Those defensive tackles they've been on the field the whole time, so they've already faced almost 20 plays in this first quarter. I know it's a cooler day, but still, that was the strength of the Michigan team a year ago. They were so deep; they were almost too deep at every position. That's why you could rotate Graham and Grant out of there. They can't do that as much this year, and Texas is making them pay early. Michigan will have their second ball. They have the ball for the second time in this quarter. First quarter brought to you by Vote for Anthony Hippolito. If you live in Hays County, please give him your vote in November for Hays County Sheriff. Down there south of Travis County, just one below, one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Texas. And Anthony wants to be your protector there and sheriff. If you don't live in Hays County but know people there, please encourage them to vote for our friend Anthony. He is an avid on Texas football viewer and watches all the time. A P1, as we would call it in radio. All right, guys, so far so good for Texas. What do you expect to see from Michigan on this drive offensively? They've got to get something going. They just need some first downs for all the reasons you guys just said.
I look them. They're going to try to go off schedule a little bit. If Sharon Moore comes back and goes run, pass like he did in the first series, I think that they're going to be in trouble. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think they can be. They're not going to be able to do to Texas what they did to Penn State, because I'm telling you right now, they don't have the quarterback they had a year ago that could play action pass you and kill you, and they don't have the receiver. Roman Wilson left the building, right, Jerry? That was their big play receiver. They don't have that guy right now. Now, maybe they have a good player. I'm not saying Michigan doesn't have good recruits, but they can't go run, pass against Texas on third down. Nate, we'll see how it goes. Osis the Destroyer, every catch Gunnar Helm makes just increases his draft stock. Absolutely. I was talking to Gunner's dad last week, pregame at Colorado State. They are excited about what Gunner's doing right now, and I think it's going to be fun for him to watch him mature. But this has been a big week so far, a big day so far. Texas with Gunnar Helm leading receiver, guys, 52 yards on 3 catches right now.
Three plays of 20+ yards for the Texas offense. That's big early. Look, because there were some going in this game that wondered if Texas would get the explosives, but definitely getting the explosives early. And the only way you're getting explosives is if your offensive line, and Michigan's going to get pressure on Texas. They have a bunch of future NFL players in their front seven, but Qunn still has enough time for the plays to develop down the field. That's the whole key. Michigan's going to get pressure. They're going to force Qunn to climb the pocket. They're really good players on defense, but there's a difference between forcing Qunn to step up in the pocket and sacking and hitting him and disrupting your timing. If the offensive line gives Qunn enough time to let these plays develop, there's going to be big plays.
Yeah, and I loved how he stepped up in the pocket on that throw to Qunn. Then there's our man Matt giving you the big play comparison. Gains of 15+ yards, an explosive. Quinn's already developed 3 of those, one to Isaiah Bond, one to Gunnar Helm now, and then the pass down the middle. Actually, 2 of them to Gunnar Helm, who's, you said it, Jerry, when you've got the speed outside like they have, and you have to honor that with your safeties and your defensive backs, that opens up a lot for a talented player like Gunnar Helm. He's going to floating through those zones, and Qunn knows how to find him.
Look, Isaiah Bond, whether he catches 2 passes for 50 yards in a game or he catches 5 for 110, his speed is so important to how Sark sets everything else up. And that's going to be the same for other guys on this team. But when DeAndre Moore runs 10-8, and him and Golden are 10-7-5, 10-8 guys, I mean, then you have a lot of speed on the field, and those teams have to respect that.
All right, there's Colston Loveland, the Gunnar Helm of Michigan, the tight end. Yeah, I missed a tackle on the outside. It was gained another 4 or 5 yards after that. Davis Warren, though, we thought they might come out with some, early down passes just to loosen this thing up a little bit. You said it, Bobby. They can't go run, pass here against this Texas defense. So they get a 6-yard gain on first down.
And look, that sometimes a first-round pick's going to make a play against your NFL draft picks, and that's what happened there. A lot of really good players on this field. And Colston Loveland is a first-round pick at tight end. He's the best tight end prospect in the country, and he's going to make some plays. I mean, he's going to make plays against Texas' future NFL draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody expects a shutout in this game for Texas. They'd like to see it again, back-to-back. But, there's the first down for Michigan. Nice run, nice move by Donovan Edwards. They got him to the perimeter that time. 2 plays on first down. I like the first down pass, especially off play action for Michigan there.
Great.
I thought that was a good play coming out of the timeout. We'll see as Michigan now approaches midfield for the first time in the ballgame. Under 3 minutes to go first quarter.
Flea flicker.
Okay, you kind of thought the trickeration was coming. Good play. Yeah, Michigan's gonna have to do that, guys. They're gonna have to mix direct Texas eyes. They gotta work with this team speed that Texas brings on the defensive side. A good throw by Davis Warren.
Yeah, they caught. I tell you what, they got in between Anthony Hill and David Benda there. Hill got sucked in a little bit with the flea flicker and lost who was behind him. Not unsurprising. They're going to go heavy run. 3 tight end set here for Michigan.
Yeah, they're going to inside. Now they're cross midfield. They're going to start pounding the rock. You're guaranteed.
Yeah. A really good throw by Davis Warren there too. By the way,
I liked it. That's good.
Bill Norton now in for, it looks like, Vernon Broughton. by the way. Ethan Burke in for Barron Sorrell. Texas rotating.
Yeah, 3 yards on first down. If you're Texas, you'll take that when they ran that counter action. But yeah, you got to kind of feel like they're going to try to saddle up this run game a little bit now that they're across the midfield. But good stop that time. Alfred Collins with a tackle on that one.
I believe Jermaine, as Rick Ambergi said, Jermaine Lolay in too. We're getting some of our first substitutions on that defensive front. They're noticeable.
Oh no, he's popped it out.
Yep, there goes down. Well, then that looked like a hold to me right there on Bill Norton. But either way, that was the gap that he shot through. Well, this is Michigan, right? They get 1 first down, and now they're going to run the rock. Yeah, well, actually, Bill Norton just got stood up on that play. He's got to get lower. Good tackle, Michael Taft. That might have been to the house break there, jailbreak.
Yeah, it was. Good tackle by Michael. This is what Texas could not afford, especially coming off a hot. That's a good play by the Texas defense.
Yeah, I like the play call too for the Michigan side, but this is now in this drive the goal is to force a field goal, or at least a field goal attempt. Both teams with really good kickers, but the Longhorns, of course, have already missed one with Bert Auburn.
Michigan's showing some good rhythm here on offense, I have to admit, right?
Yeah.
They feel like they're in rhythm.
Yeah, they had to. We talked about that in the timeout, the extended timeout, as they had to come out and get that defense off the field for a little bit and at least mount some first downs. Now they've hit an explosive play and pushed it inside the high red zone here.
They call a penalty on Michigan?
I think so. Oh, that's end of the quarter. End of the quarter.
Yeah.
All right, 1 quarter in the books. Michigan, making it, at the end of the quarter, throwing a punch back at Texas. Longhorns owned the quarter for the first 12 minutes of it. Michigan has done well here in this final 3 minutes of the first quarter, but Texas up 7-0. Feel like it should be more than that, 10-0 if we don't miss a kick. But here come the Wolverines. What are we seeing on this drive, guys? I thought Bill Norton played high on that run, but popped through. They're gonna have to get low. And this Michigan team, they're not going to abandon their identity. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it's a game of false steps for linebackers. I think David Benda had a little bit there on that run that got popped. I'd have to look back on it, but look, it's Michigan's going to attack the Texas linebackers, like Steve Sarkisian's going to try to attack Michigan's outside of Burnham. So that's what this game's kind of going according to plan. From what I thought it would do, other than Michigan brings out the trick play, but. Look, Michigan, if they don't have success running the football, they got no chance in this game. They're starting to have enough success to where they're mounting the drive.
Yeah, rush yards.
5 for 28 for Edwards. That's a good 5.5 a clip, Jerry.
And Khalil Mullings will come in probably soon once the Texas defense gets a few more plays, a few more snaps under their belt there. And then they're going to bring in the 6'2", 235-pound guy who's probably the better running back.
Yeah, Donovan Edwards is a good player. He's the experienced guy, so you want him out there. But, it was Blake Corum last year behind that big line that would wear people out, and then he'd come in as the kind of the lightning to the thunder. They're kind of flipping that this time around until they get the young guy ready. But he was good last week. Mullins, you're going to see him here coming up, especially as they're getting into the red zone.
Yep.
All right, Bob, are you going to head back to the game?
No, I'm here. I'm staying here. I got to watch the whole thing, and we'll do post game, guys, starting right after the whistle. Myself, Rod Babers, and Tony Hills, the former the former offensive tackle, in NFL player, will join us with the post game comments. Please make sure y'all check us out and watch if you would. That'll be immediately following post game.
All right, Bobby. We'll check in with you on the post game. If you have thoughts, jump on. And Jerry and I know Coach Bob Shipley is going to join us here coming up for our second quarter. Feeling pretty good so far, though, Bob, as you drop out?
Yeah, I don't like this drive, but I like what Texas has done on offense. I'm really I would have liked to seen I would have liked to seen Texas with the ball back to keep going, because now it gives Michigan's guys more time to rest, more time to get together and talk about what they're going to try to do the next series. I don't like that. But other than that, I mean, I think Texas had 2 scoring opportunities, capitalized on 1. Qunn Ewers looks comfortable. I think maybe the best news of the game, for not just this game, but overall, is Qunn Ewers stepping up in the pocket. 1 for a run for a first down and 1 for the touchdown. Both times stepped up functionally. That was one of the things he worked on all off season. I think paid dividends in the first quarter here.
Yeah, and the negatives, Jerry, obviously the penalties, self-inflicted issues, all on Cam Williams, the right tackle. Some officiating that maybe was questionable with a late hit not called, and a holding call on Cam Williams that was ticky-tack in my mind that took a touchdown off the board. We could be 14-0 right now for Texas. But so that's a negative. And then the Jaden Blue injury, we got to keep an eye on that.
That's the 2 things for me is, look, Michigan's a good football team. They're going to move the ball somewhat. They have to do it running the football. Good trick play, good flea flicker call by Michigan. But my 2 things is Jaden Blue, how's his knee? Linebackers have to play better for Texas in the run game, the rest of this game. I mean, that's going to be where it's at right now for Texas. And Cam Williams will settle down. The offensive line is doing well enough in pass protection. All they need to do is give Qunn time for the plays to develop. That's the whole key, and they're doing that right now. But Texas linebackers have to play better against the run here. Michigan in the spread.
Big third down coming here. You see Trey Moore just decleated the right tackle that time, and the ball came out quick, or he would have had a sack there. Trey Moore coming off the edge that time. Now it's 3rd and 3. Probably, well, we'll see. Maybe 2 down territory for Michigan in their mind. Hey, there's Coach Bob Shipley. Coach, how are you?
Hey, doing great. Just got to have a big stop here.
Yep, big third down. Texas has been great on third down so far. That's why they're up 7-0. See, this is Michigan's first big third down. And there's Alex Orji in the game.
You know, Texas, we've got to find something to disrupt the rhythm that this Michigan offense is in right now. It's interesting that they're looking at making a change there, but it's a big game for both teams, and we were a little bit stiff that first drive. We wound up getting it down there and having a shot at a field goal, but we've got to try to do something. Michigan, obviously, Rod Babers called it earlier this week. He felt like they were going to throw some trick plays at us. So you see some misdirection runs where they've tried to catch us kind of off balance, maybe over pursuing. So this is a huge play right here.
Michigan especially had with the way Texas is moving the football, that kind of forced their hand a little bit. If Michigan had been stymieing Texas and forced a couple of 3 and outs, maybe you don't see that flea flicker that soon. But Texas got early control of this football game, and that maybe makes Michigan start to adjust a little quicker.
All right, big third down. They're going with the power package with Alex Orji in the game. Needs 3 full yards here on third down.
I like the timeout by Texas. I like this timeout call. You still got 2 to play with, plus the 2-minute warning or a 2-minute timeout now in college football. I like the timeout before this 3rd and 3.
How about the play for Vernon Broughton right there, Coach? That's big time on third down.
Yeah, really was. Vernon did a good job on that. I got to scratch my head on that call. I don't understand.
Me too.
Yeah, that was
why you'd pull your starting quarterback out.
Yeah, he was in a rhythm too, Coach. Agree with you on that. He's 4 for 5 on the drive, and take him out and you go. That's a play I'm sure Texas worked on a lot. Just that basic wildcat power run for the quarterback. Now we'll see if Michigan can make a field goal. Yep, that's right down the middle. Yeah, this kicker real good too. I mean, he made a 55-yarder last week. He was 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 last week. So both kickers good. But the win for Texas is to not give up the touchdown, to stay up 4, and now a chance to get the ball back and get the rhythm going offensively. And Coach, that was a kind of a must-have drive for Michigan. The way the first quarter had gone to that point, they needed, and I thought it was a well-called drive by Sharon Moore with the misdirections, the flea flicker you mentioned, and got a little bit of a run game going. And they got 3 points on the board to stem that Longhorn tide.
Yeah, it was a really good series for them. And one, as Jerry pointed out, if they don't get any points off of it, or if they get stuffed and they're out in 7 or 8 plays, then Texas gets a chance to go up 14-0. Now you're in a really big bind if you're Michigan.
By the way, per the broadcast, Jaden Blue's out for the game.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Yeah, so I mean that's all they're saying. He's out for the rest of the game.
That.
By the way, look, this is a huge defensive possession coming up for Michigan now because they got a little time to rest. They mounted the drive, but Michigan, coach, Texas offensive line is holding up well in pass pro. If Michigan, and we'll see if Martindale brings more numbers and where he attacks this drive, but I have a feeling that Wink Martindale is going to have to bring another number here to get to Qunn, and that means you're taking risks. But the pass protection's held up well enough. They're going to get some pressure. It's Michigan. They got a bunch of NFL players, but they've held up well enough to give time for Qunn to climb the pocket and the plays to develop. Wink Martindale's got to change that, else he's going to give up 30 today.
Well, I think we're seeing Qunn, as you guys were talking about in the first quarter. He does what he does in big games. I mean, he shows up and he's a guy. That's why he's considered one of the best quarterbacks in the country and one of the best quarterback prospects in the country. And I love the way that he's showing the maturity and the wisdom, and he's stepping up the pocket while keeping his eyes downfield. And if he can keep that up, I'm with you. Wink is going to have to change up something defensively for Michigan, or it's going to be a long day for them. And I'm sure he will. He's an old crusty veteran. I mean, that dude, he's been around. He's been around the ballpark once or twice. He'll have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, Michigan's got to get a stop here. I mean, then you can start to test Texas defensively, back-to-back possessions with the run game. But if Texas mounts another drive here against Michigan, it gets interesting for the Michigan defense because I can guarantee you this is not what they were expecting coming into this game. Yeah, so if Texas follows up with another drive, it gets interesting for Michigan defensively.
All right, good return for Matthew Golden out just before the 25-yard line. Boy, that Jaden Blue news is that would be devastating if there's not just for this game, but a significant injury. But that's the word. I did see on some social media that Jaden was trying to jog a little bit and loosen it up. But obviously, as you said, Jerry, the report now that he will not return in this game. That's difficult.
By the way, Texas has the wind in the second quarter offensively. Wind behind their back.
Attaboy, Gunner.
Yeah, you're going to need Trey Wisner step up big time here. And then Jarrett Gibson behind him. You're really down to 3 healthy running backs if Jaden Blue is out. There's Gunnar Helm having himself a day, having himself a half. That's another catch for him. That's 4. He's also got the touchdown. Maybe the guy, Jerry, that the Texas or the Michigan defense wasn't thinking about too much when they're coming in. They got all these receivers they got to figure out.
Yeah, look, again, Coach, we talked about this. Gunnar Helm gets favorable matchups. The Texas tight end gets favorable matchups because Texas has so much speed at wide receiver. As a defense, you have to respect that speed immensely. And what that does is gives Sark an opportunity to get Gunnar Helm, hunt those matchups for an entire game, for an entire season at the tight end position.
Great run there for Trey Wisner. They pulled the right side to the left side, and then Kelvin Banks out front. But that's the slashing ability of Wisner. Back-to-back real good runs for him.
Good job, DJ Campbell. Pulling. He is strong, very high end in the run game.
Wow.
Interference
that was
there.
Jumped. Felt like it, right? Looked like he got there early. Fortunately, wasn't picked off, though. Hey, I did see, guys, where this is the same officiating crew. Yeah, that's penalty. It was called for a 10.
That's got to be called. I mean, come on, man. That's obvious.
Yeah, that was very obvious. Haven't seen a lot of blitz in this series from Michigan.
It's interesting, Coach. I figured there. I think it's coming.
Yeah, there was a blitz on the first one to Helm. It came off the corner side, and they threw right back at it, and now we've got a third down for sure. This is a big one. It's kind of one of those points first downs if you can get it, especially with the wind at your back. We'll see. Texas has been great on third down so far in this game. Qunn Ewers now 11 of 15.
I'm behind you on the feed.
Wisner may have a big game, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. They're getting a push now, and he's finding those creases. It's good to see. Trey Wisner having a hell of a drive here. Now 4 carries, averaging almost 6 yards a carry, guys, finding those creases. And I like the run on third down, even on third down. Sure, Michigan was expecting to pass there.
That's a show that you feel that your offense is running when you can go against one of the best defenses in the country on a big 3rd and 4.
Yeah, now this is a go, I don't want to say stick a dagger, but you can stick an early dagger if Texas could put another score on the board here and put Michigan down double digits. That's the goal here now with a first down at the 33-yard line. Going spread look. Qunn stepping up again. They were ready for it that time. It's a good defense, Jerry. You're only going to get him on that a couple times, right, before they figure out that he's going to step up and squirt through.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a bunch of NFL players on the field. These guys, everybody's going to make plays today. Mason Graham's not – he's going to make plays. Kenneth Grant, everybody's going to make plays today for both sides of the ball. That's what makes this game so much fun. And for me is, following all these kids, their recruitments, and seeing them kind of develop as players. But, again, these guys are going to make plays. But, again, I like that Texas – good enough in pass pro to give Qunn a chance to climb the pocket. Those are all good signs even on that play.
Wisner.
And there's Wisner again with.
Yeah, he's going to have to take a break. That dude,
pretty good hit.
He's a workhorse this quarter.
I'll tell you what, like pulling Hayden Connor, it's down that play, it slowed down Josiah Stewart. I mean, it made him pause just enough.
What is happening? Trey Wisner having a huge drive here, obviously in the backfield and out of the backfield, running in, catching. Jaden Blue's banged up a little bit with a knee, and now it's Jarrett Gibson in, the freshman.
Boy, I love the way Sark is just putting it at him. I mean, just running it right at him. Right in.
Yeah, they now have 60 rush yards, and Jarrett, love his body lean coach, Jarrett Gibson, the freshman out of IMG.
Yeah.
Really gets his pads low, and I like the way he runs.
Look, I say this all the time on the live streams. I've never met a running back from Florida that wasn't a physical kid.
Yeah.
He's perfect for this football game. Ball protection freshman, but he's perfect to run it.
All right, now into the lower red zone for the first time. Texas' first touchdown came from 21 yards out to Gunnar Helm. Now they're inside the 10. This was an issue last year. We know that. We'll see if the Longhorns can capitalize. It's another 11-play drive, though. Texas has already run 30 total plays, guys, and we're still 9 minutes to go in the quarter.
Wow, guys. Wow.
I'm loving this. Beat them at their own game, baby.
Yep. Run right at him. Jarrett Gibson, Trey Wisner, huge on this drive, and that interior offensive line playing some great football. It was Big Jake Majors getting out in front of that one, guys. That's a good looking drive. 12 plays, touchdown. Texas up double digits now.
Look, watch the center pull, Coach. Watch. Jake
I
pull.
was just about to say that's a great versatility when you've got a big center that can pull like that, get outside and have the touchdown breaking block. That's pretty awesome.
Yep, and Jarrett Gibson looks like we saw him in the second half last week, Jerry, but he looks more and more like the guy you're going to see when they pound it inside the 15-yard line for this offense this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, this kid is tough. He is a bowling ball. He has a low center of gravity, and I've said this before about Jarrett Gibson. Nothing against Gainesville High, the place he went, but when you practice at IMG for 2 straight years, okay, one of the best thing about going to IMG if you're a running back is every day you take a handoff and practice, there's 7 Power 4 level players on that defense that want to tackle you. You're accustomed to seeing things move quickly in your peripheral. So when you get to the college level, seeing these things in your peripheral, having to read that linebacker quicker, having to adjust, having to have reactive quickness with your feet, it's a much easier transition for the running backs from IMG. Now, they haven't had any Heisman winners yet. They haven't had those level guys, but Katron Allen, really good at Penn State. Jarrett Gibson has prepared physically and mentally to come in to Texas and have to play a bigger role than he anticipated a month ago. He's ready.
Yeah.
Physically,
that's
he's
a
ready.
great point. That is a great point, Jerry. I mean, I hadn't even thought about that, but what an advantage it is for him because he's already seen the game speed up.
That's right.
Every day. That's a great point, and he's more ready than 99% of the guys coming out because they haven't seen, unless you're from been playing Duncanville and DeSoto.
Yeah,
every week.
But you're from South Dallas, right, Coach? And playing
but that's what they're doing. They're playing at Duncanville, DeSoto every day in practice.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I'll let you sing the praise of that offensive line too, Coach, because Jerry mentioned that long first quarter for the Michigan defense on the field, that offensive line got saddled up and really did a great job. Let me tell you about the SpreadWise app, though. Perfect timing for this here in our second quarter. It's a simple yet advanced tool for elimination pool participants. If you're in one of those Survivor NFL pools, elimination, pick one team every week. You got to get it right to stay alive, but you only use that team once in the year. Give yourself a huge edge with the SpreadWise app. I call it my secret weapon to success. They have an advanced algorithm to quickly calculate the optimal choices for not just this week's winner, but the next several weeks, what the optimal looks, and it'll recalibrate and recalculate every week once as the information comes in throughout the course of the season. It is dirt cheap for subscriptions. You can get a subscription for 30 days, 60 days, or for the season, whichever you go with. But it's absolutely under $5. You can configure as many games as you want to set into the future next 3-4 weeks. It really is cool. And again, all you have to do is go to your app store, Apple or Google Play, and look for the SpreadWise app. High-tech buddies of mine put this together. It's filling a major hole in the market. A lot of us are in the Survivor pools or elimination pools. They also, if you're in one of the loser bracket pools, which people do too, where you got to pick a loser every week, you can flip the settings to pick the losers every week. It's a lot of fun. Good way to play in the NFL. Give yourself the secret weapon with the SpreadWise app. Hey, Bob, Coach, talk about that offensive line on that drive against a great front. They really got after it.
I think Coach is muted.
Coach, you're muted.
Coach, you're muted.
Sorry, I had to call.
No, you're good.
Yeah, when you had the as much praise as this defense has gotten, especially the interior for Michigan, and then your lineman, and you hear another run play coming, you're just licking your chops. I mean, you're just growing with confidence every snap, and it can't do anything but help us as this game wears on.
Hey, by the way, we talked about it in the preseason. DJ Campbell and Cam Williams as a run blocking duo are going to be dynamite. Dynamite. Their whole key is, do they hold up in pass pro? But as a run blocking duo, they're dynamite now. Cam Williams Christian Jones is a very good player, but Cam Williams as a run blocker is, I think, another level, especially as he gets more comfortable. And then you have DJ Campbell in year 2 as run blockers. Those guys are tremendous. When you have that center, when you have a center that has that much experience where you can pull him in the run game too. I mean, Texas has a lot of things at their disposal in the run game with this season. And again, the right side, and we talk about Kelvin Banks, he's dynamite, he's an All-American. But that right side in tandem in the run game can really move people and stymie really good defensive players.
All right, see if the linebackers can have a better series here. That time Anthony Hill making a tackle after Mullen squirted through. But Texas is, kind of a what-if thing. The Longhorns have already put up over 200 yards of offense, 7 yards of play, and if not for a holding call, which I thought was ticky-tack on Cam Williams, it'd be 21-3 right now. And then they missed the field goal. But this could be a blowout early. Michigan's got to feel a bit of a sense of desperation here because they can't stop Texas right now.
Well, they got to still be patient within their run game. And Khalil Mullings, I think, is their best running back, by the way. That's 6'2", 235 with that little jump cut, skip cut action. He was recruited as a linebacker out of Massachusetts. They still got to be patient with their run game. If they can keep it to a one-score game, what they can't do is give a 3 and out here and have to punt it.
Yeah, and they can't turn the ball over. That's where Texas would like to really step on it here and enforce something. But it's a 3rd and 2, which is what Michigan wants. 3rd and manageable. This is where they want their quarterback, Davis Warren. 2 nice runs between the tackles. Texas, though, stopped the last 3rd and short. But as you said, Coach, they took out their quarterback the last time they were at 3rd and short. It didn't go very good.
Yeah.
They got to be patient with their run game. That's their only hope, though. If they think they're going to spread the ball and wing it all over the field, they're not going to do that. They have to be patient with their run game. That's not who they are. You have to break tendency some, but you can't break your identity.
You're going to like that.
There it is. All right, Longhorns are really pouring it on now.
You called it.
Drill interception.
You
Tip
called
drill
it.
Yeah. Hey, look, I mean, Makuba coming in from Clemson, one of that 5-1-2 crew. That's a big play. And surprised Michigan went past there with their young quarterback against his sticky defense. I would have pounded it up in there with the 230-pound running back.
That's 2 real questionable calls on 3rd and short for Michigan.
Yes, Coach. Yes, you can break tendency. You can't break your identity. You're not – that's not who you are. This is not the quarterback to do that with. But, hey, thank goodness they did. Andrew Makuba, that's why Texas has better safety play this season. This experienced player. He was in the right spot. He wasn't out of position. Good job there getting a hand on the pass. Who was that, Derek Williams?
I think that was Manny Muhammad.
It was Manny Muhammad.
Good play. Yeah, that's your best corner, too, and they're trying to throw on him on 3rd down. I don't like the play call with Coach, but you'll take it if you're Texas. Oh, a little overthrow by Qunn that time. Sped him up a little bit, and Trey Wisner in the flat. This is a must-stop for Michigan. They got to force a field goal here. This game's going to get ugly.
Hey, he's got to start bringing numbers in the blitz game. He has no choice now. He has no choice. Wink Martindale's he's got to start to throw a little kitchen sink at this thing on this drive.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something different when your opponent has 200 total yards plus. You're ahead of us, Coach.
Last week it was me ahead. Now it's you.
Yeah, now it's me. I was like, that wasn't a great choice to throw that one right there. Woo.
Oh, miscommunication on the outside. Isaiah Bond, the intended receiver.
That's be a big play. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder if Sark runs it and then tries to see if he can get it on 4th down. But you're as you said, Jared, they're with the win, so you're not far from a field goal attempt. But if you want more than that after the first turnover of this game, you can really step on the throat early. Texas has been great on 3rd down so far. They're setting it up again. There's this 3rd and long. Look for the slot here. There it is. Another great throw by Qunn. Matthew Golden into the seam. Man, that's a great throw. That's just a great throw on the run. Little flip of the wrist. That's why he was the #1 recruit in the country there, Jerry.
And this is the guy we've been saying he has the most confidence and the best rapport with Matthew Golden. Of any of the receivers on this team, he's been the guy we've been told all summer. We've been talking about this. Qunn feels very comfortable with Matthew Golden. They are on the same page, which is saying a lot for a guy that just transferred in.
Coach Shipley, 6 for 7 on 3rd down. Michigan's 0 for 3. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty telling, isn't it?
Ball protection here. Ball protection. Points is the key. Points is the key.
It's a good-looking half for Texas so far. You don't want to do anything. No more self-inflicted wounds, and you'll feel good at halftime. Promise you.
Well,
there's another quick throw by Qunn. Gunnar Helm again, making good decisions. Hold on to that ball.
Yeah, he's got a safety valve every time. If you'll notice that, he's got a safety valve when he's got heat coming. He's got a safety valve out in the flat or that's flaring or something that he can go to, or maybe doing a little stick route. And it's been very effective to help him combat that blitz.
Cole Hudson in at right guard on this series.
Vaughn Davis in there too. Coach, and it also his ability to flick his wrist and zip it out there is really, really impressive. I mean, that's what he's known for. But to see it against a defense like this, I mean, that ball velocity really helps if he gets there sooner. Quinn's doing a great job.
It's so deceptive because it looks so effortless.
Yeah.
When he just flicks that thing out there, and it just looks like he's playing with a little miniature sized football that cheerleaders throw. You just kind of flick it around. And
First down,
so it's
but
nice.
we gotta
Nice to have a first down and goal here. Very manageable.
Well, they call it, first and goal, but what you don't need is self-inflicted wounds. But Texas is now 7 for 8 on third downs. 13 first downs to 3 so far. My goodness.
Look, it's all about ball protection. Points here, points here, points. Do not get risky with the football. Points.
Cam Williams is another penalty, guys. Cam Williams, that's 4 now for him.
Ooh. Hey, Jerry, did you notice that we won the toss and took the football?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's set the pace right now.
Yeah, well, now another false start. That's what derailed the first drive for Texas was penalties on a touchdown negated that was thrown that came off the board because of a holding call on Cam Williams. He's having a rough first half. He's really the only Longhorn having a hard time this week, but so far. Just a little bit more room for Qunn here.
Well, it sure be nice to come away with the touchdown on this drive to really put some ice on Michigan and what they can do offensively. And I mean, it affects everything. It affects, if we score here a touchdown, it affects Michigan big time, offensively and defensively.
100%. Yeah, I mean, this is one you want. That's why I hate to see that offsides on the first play, but touchdown is a dagger for Michigan. Changes everything that they want to do. Because as you were saying last drive, Jerry, they can still stay patient with their run game. They go down 21-3. They can't stay patient with their run game anymore. Yeah,
no doubt. And look, if you can get in, let's just say up 17-3 at the half. I mean, if you can get there, then Michigan, even though they get the ball, there's a little more pressure on them on that first drive of the second half.
I thought that was an interesting call. I would have thrown the ball in the end zone on second down.
Big third down here. Texas has been brilliant so far, 7 for 8 on the third downs. This one, though, because of a penalty, is a little longer than they would have wanted it to be.
It's like Michigan's going to call a timeout.
Smart.
Those guys are breathing. They're tired.
Yeah.
You see them?
Yeah.
Those defensive linemen from Michigan are huffing and puffing.
Yeah, they've already Coach, they've already faced almost 40 plays here. It's not halftime yet. I mean, that's a lot and a half. Texas
guys,
is only –
is Jaden Blue's back in the game, by the way?
Oh, that's great news.
Really?
I think that's why Michigan may have called the timeout. They saw Blue in motion. They didn't like it.
UT boy, thanks for the super chat. Behind the woodshed, Jerry Hamilton.
Well, long game left. The big thing here is to get points. And then if you can hold Michigan, if you can get to 17-3 at half, then Michigan, even though they get the ball to start the second half, you know, those discussions, Coach, you've been in there. This discussions amongst that staff's a little different because the game's not going how they wanted it to go, assuming if you can get it to 17-3 at half, not getting ahead of ourselves, we're just talking during the timeout. Those discussions are different because this game is not going how they envisioned it to.
Well, they're lucky it's only 14-3. That's a crazy thing about it. But I love how Texas, for the second year in a row, the same game of the year, second game of the year, goes into a hostile environment against a top-ranked team and doesn't flinch.
Yep,
that's a great sign for you know, of course, we've still got to go to – we still have lots of games left, but in terms of big-time atmosphere, you know, we've got to go into Dallas, of course, but then Kyle Field. And I love the way our kids aren't flinching. They're going in. They know this is our time. They know that they've earned it. They know that they've put in the work. They've made the sacrifices. They've got the culture. They're holding each other accountable. One wild prediction I made too, Jerry, was that we are going to outrush Michigan in this game, and so far we've got them doubled up.
Yeah. Great call, Coach.
Well, and if they punch it in here, you're going to win that bet big time because Michigan's going to have to stop running the ball.
Yeah,
and Texas
that's
can
right.
keep pounding it and run the clock. I just flipped it over for a second.
The key here is Qunn does not need to get too aggressive on this play. If it's not there, take the points.
Yep. That's where headset communication can help him. I know they have a timeout to come out of with whatever play Sark wants to go with, but calm down, Qunn. Let's just make it. He's made great rows. He has not made a mistake in this game. That one throw to the outside, the miscommunication with Bond would be the one you'd want back, but really everything else, almost 250 total yards and a half against one of the top defenses in the country. Really, really impressive. No doubt about that. I flipped it over right there. Alabama up 21-7 on Oklahoma State right now. Or excuse me, Arkansas. Arkansas up 21-7 on the Cowboys. Big game there for the Razorbacks, looking good so far.
Yeah, you wondered last week. I did. I openly wondered. They played Pine Bluff, who was one of the worst teams you could play. And so we wanted to see what happened to against Oak State today, and they're taking it to them. Early season woes for Oklahoma State are not uncommon, but that doesn't matter to Arkansas. Arkansas, with Taylon Green and Bobby Petrino, they look like a much improved offense this year. And they have had some woes, and that's why Sam Pittman brought in Bobby Petrino, which is one of the more wild hires because of what happened with Petrino when he was a head coach. But that just tells you the situation, how desperate it was in Fayetteville offensively, and because Bobby Petrino is a really good play caller, especially when he's outside of Jimbo Fisher's thumb.
Big third down here for Texas. Protect the ball is the key. Looks like good coverage from Michigan. He's going to throw it away. Smart move by Qunn. Get your field goal. Go up 2 touchdowns. Smart play, good defense.
Yeah, you do. Turnover in the red zone right here would have given momentum back to Michigan. No way, no how you want to do that. Bert Auburn, go make a field goal. Make your field goal. And if your defense can continue to play well, maybe you get the ball one more time. We'll see.
Yeah, if you can get a quick 3 and out, you could get the ball back. 2 timeouts, too. And Burt missed the first one from the right side, kicked it straight down the middle. All you got to do right here is punch it through, and the Longhorns are going to go up 2 scores. And, not to nitpick the negative, but the Cam Williams, 4 penalties on 1 player, difficult, to a holding and 3 offsides. And I'll give Jerry said it in the pregame. This was it's his first big road game. He's only started 2 games in his career. Both are at home. This on the road, not to be unexpected, but 4 is a lot and a half.
Yeah, it's an awful lot and a half. It's about 3 too many, but hopefully he'll get settled in.
Here's the thing: in the run game, he's dominating. Him and DJ Campbell, the right side, are dominating. It's in pass pro. It's his first game. It's on the road. It's loud. He's going up against NFL guys. He'll settle in. The guy's going to be a high draft pick. He's a really good football player. But this is his first start on the road in major college football.
Yeah, 100%. But those mistakes and jitters this thing could be 24-27-0 right now for Texas.
And the holding call is the one we'll reference because that was questionable, right?
I agree.
That's not. I mean, you can call holding on every play essentially in football. Was that a hold? I don't know. Maybe by the letter of the law it was, but how many times do we watch plays and that's not called?
Yeah, we've seen worse, especially in the Big 12, and not get called, right? Hog ties don't get called in the Big 12.
Yep, exactly. So look, needless to say, huge offensive possession coming up for Michigan here, because they need to possess the ball. They need to go down and get a field goal attempt or something positive offensively. Otherwise, even though they get the ball to start the second half, the coach will be like, we got the ball. Okay, we can get right back in this thing. The reality is those coaching staff's going to be huddled up saying, guys, nothing's gone the way we thought it was. It's imperative Michigan mounts a drive right here for them, for their psyche.
I agree with that. But the positive side, if you're Michigan, is if we go get a score here, we get the ball coming out, we can double up, get right back in this ball game, steal a possession from Texas and not having to get them off the field. So they need something, but they have to be careful. Good play defense, a good push. I know Bill Norton's 6'6". I'd like to see him get a little lower, though. He's a big man wearing a 15.
By the way, so just if Texas can force a punt, Texas is downwind. So it'll be a punt into the wind and Texas downwind. First, they got to get it done.
There's a big chance to force a third down.
I don't know why we don't call a timeout here. We definitely need to call a timeout. Good. Okay. No, it's a 2-minute warning.
2-minute timeout.
Yeah. Welcome to the NFL, Coach. Well, welcome to the NFL.
No hey, really good. Who was that blitzed off the edge on that play? That was Anthony Hill.
I think it was Anthony Hill.
Disrupted the timing. Disrupted Davis Warren. Made him change his arm slot angle. Makuba right there to make the sure tackle.
Yeah, defense hadn't had to face a lot of plays, but they've been on point when they have been playing. I'll tell you one more time, our second quarter sponsor is the Spreadwise app. Just to download that. It's a simple yet advanced tool for elimination pools for your NFL. You're still not too late for week one. If you haven't made a pick, that's okay, because you probably didn't pick the Chiefs game or the Eagles game last night in Brazil. Jump in there, get the Spreadwise app. You can see estimated odds and best selected teams to pick, not just this week, but beyond down the road there. Advanced algorithms to quickly calculate the optimal choices. It will quickly become your secret weapon to dominate your football elimination pools, whether you're picking winners or losers, and still a lot of games on the board. So get that downloaded today before your picks tomorrow with the Spreadwise app. Great tool right there. All right, guys, big third down here. Texas has really been the story of this game. 7 for 9 for Texas, converting. Michigan 0 for 3. You force another 3 and out here, get the ball back. You can really put this thing to sleep, it feels like, at halftime.
This would be big because they have to punt it into the wind. They punt it into the wind. This is a huge play for Michigan offense, Texas defense, obviously. But I'm thinking about Michigan here because, look, they don't have momentum in this game. Things are not going how they thought they would go for them. If they have to punt it into the wind here, then Texas is going to have another shot. Texas has 2 timeouts or pass, so the only time the clock would stop is on their timeouts. But if Texas can force a punt into the wind here, and I think the wind is a factor in the punting game more than it is the field goal and field goal kicking game, because the ball is going to be higher into the wind. Texas has a shot. You never know what's going to happen in the punting game. So this is a big play for both teams, obviously. But this is a really big play for Michigan's offense, because the last thing this staff wants to do right now is have to send their defense back out. They're already tired. Look at the play differential.
Yeah,
I'll show you a crazy stat. Loveland has 1 catch for 6 yards. That's huge. Yep. And again, I think that's all he's been targeted is 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was on a design play out of a timeout where they ran a bootleg, and Jahdae Barron's been kind of shadowing him. I assume that to be kind of the case on this big third down.
Again, it shows that the game has not gone the way Michigan wanted, because he is your top offensive threat, and he's touched the ball 1 time.
Yep.
That's obviously was not their game plan.
Yeah, Texas has not really been stopped. They've stopped themselves with the penalties and the missed field goal. Michigan really has mounted 1 drive, and that's where a majority of their 76 yards total have come from. This would be a big one here. This was, Michigan's now thinking we got to get a first down so we can start bleeding this clock and get to halftime without any more damage.
That's right.
Now, even if we don't score, we can't give that ball back to the icy whites that are going up and down the field on us.
It's a great point, Aaron, because at least if you can even get in at 17-3 if you're Michigan, you have what you can say is we get the ball to start the second half. We can go down and get points. We're right there in a 1-score game. We go down and score a touchdown. So that's the message they need to be able to send to this team. If they can't send that message, then things go a little different direction if a team that does not play well from behind offensively.
Ball out quick, man coverage, good play. That's a first down. Michigan needed that. Yeah, that's Morgan, his third catch. Now they're going fast here. This is where Texas needs to be on point. Even that completion, guys, Texas defense playing fast in this game. Oh, that's going to be a negative play. Nice play right there. That Jalen Gilbo. Yep, Gilbo coming up from the nickel, making a play.
That's a Michigan wide receiver on that play. Thought he was going to run horizontally and get to the sidelines. That's not happening in this game. You better catch that ball and turn it up for 4 instead of losing 1. Big difference.
Good pressure that time. Good pressure that time. Forced an overthrow. Who was that coming off the edge? Got a big hit on the quarterback that time coming off the left side.
That was Barron Sorrell, I believe.
Yeah, he hit the quarterback pretty well. This is a bit scary spot if you're a Michigan fan.
It was key that Texas got pressure on that because the wide receiver is open on that play if he had time to get it.
Michigan's going to have to use another timeout. This is going to be interesting, 3rd and 12. If they throw a pass and it's incomplete, Texas doesn't have to burn one of their 2 timeouts, and they'll still have a little under a minute to go probably if they can get the stop here and force the punt.
Great point, Coach. Now they're just trying to get out of here without giving the ball back to Texas right now. Feels like, but yeah, well, that was Barron Sorrells on the hit. I mean, he beat the right tackle bad, and was in the face of Davis Warren as he threw that ball, and that's why it was an elevated throw, sailed high. Good eye there, Coach, too, on the timeout thing. This is big. What do you do here, Jerry? You handing it off, run a draw play or something, and make Texas use a timeout and then punt, or you try to get it here?
No, you got to try to get it. You got to try to get it. I mean, at this point, you got to go try to get it if you're Michigan, because here's the reality is, what if you shank a punt? I mean, yeah. Texas still has 2 timeouts. You got to be aggressive here if you're Michigan offensively.
And their last punt wasn't a good punt.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fumble.
There you go, Coach.
Sorry.
That's okay. Longhorns coming off the right side heavy on this one. They're right. Oh, ball on the ground. Wow, big turnover.
Huge.
And that's their best player. That's Loveland. That's big. He had some daylight too. That was just a little underneath.
I wonder if they're going to go back and look and see if he had possession.
I think they will.
I think he did
have
have
the
possession,
ball, though.
but
We'll see.
It can go either way.
He made a football move.
Slow-mo, it doesn't look like he had possession, but real time, it did look like he had possession.
Oh, well, I mean, because he was one-handed it. I think they're going to know. There's no, I don't want to say no way. I would be surprised. It looked like he was cutting upfield and was making a football move with the ball in his hand.
Definitely had it. Fumble all the way. No question. Fumble. They can't overturn this. No chance.
Now Texas can go into attack mode. If that goes in the affirmative, as Jerry said, yeah, he's making a football move. He's trying to get upfield. And
fumble all the way.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't take another look at that, but that's okay. Oh, nice move. Oh, my goodness.
Coach is happy.
Sorry, guys.
You're way ahead of us.
I'm way ahead of you.
You got that super feed from the stadium. Yeah, you're probably a good 8 seconds away from ahead of me. There you go. Jaden Blue looking healthy. Made a man miss. Golly, Jaden Blue. Good to see him out there. I was worrisome.
Unbelievable move.
Yeah. Well, last week, guys, Pro Football Focus said Jaden Blue on 11 carries made 7 missed tackles. He's a blur.
I like the way that Texas is getting the ball out on the perimeter and letting our guys run and
make it attractive. Use your speed.
And here's the thing with Wisner and Gibson, you don't have to run Blue. You can just use them in the passing game the rest of this game. You don't have to run him. Again, the other guys are fine in the run game. Keep using him in the passing game.
I mean, you don't want to count your chickens. You get a touchdown here, guys. This game, you might as well just – Michigan, that changes everything for them. Their quarterback does not look confident. This is a huge opportunity.
Hey, look, even if I know everybody's greedy right now, but even if you get a field goal here, I mean, 17-point lead, you're 3 scores up on Michigan. What are they going to do offensively unless you start turning it over?
All right, there's your first down. Nice job. Jaden Blue looking sharp. He looks healthy. That's a great thing to see. I like the run call too, Coach. Even with the clock, you got a timeout to use or 2 of them, and I think that was a good play. Now they're going quick. Clock under 30 seconds. Broken play.
Yeah, Blue went the wrong way.
Yeah, that's again another example, guys. The Longhorns are not being stopped. They're stopping themselves here with penalties and that kind of stuff. Whoops. All right, big third down here. 3-yard loss that time. It's really that might be the first negative play Texas has had in the game.
It's okay. No turnovers here. A 3-score lead against this team is massive. I don't care if they get the ball to start or not. No turnovers. Be very clean with the football here. A 3-score game is massive for that Michigan offense to overcome. You'd have to start turning it over.
Yep, 100%. And now 2nd and goal. And remember, you do have a timeout, so run game is not out of the question here. Could try to spring one.
You could swing pass. You could do a lot of things right here.
You can take the lead, Coach. We're catching you.
Yeah, well, we can't hang on to our footing out there a little bit. Just a little stumble.
Oh yeah, he's going to get
Cost
the
Jaden a chance to score.
Good play call. Yep, just stumbled that time. Final timeout.
Oh my gosh! I don't think you'd have got him, but he got to the 2, right?
Turf Monster got him. But yeah, you were on point again there, Jerry, with just using blue in the pass game here.
I think that knee gave out a little bit on him.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, that knee gave out on him a little bit.
Well, this will be interesting here. Let's just don't mess around and put it in the end zone, so we don't have to make the 4th down call.
Again, same as last time. Same as last time. Do not force a throw here. A 17-point lead is massive in this game against this Michigan offense. No turnovers. Qunn has played a tremendous first half. 18 of 26, 203, 2 touchdowns. Make a very good decision with the ball.
For Texas. Yeah, make a good decision. Look out wide there.
Nasty, Coach.
Oh, there it is. Matthew Golden, 6 points, touchdown. The Longhorns have run it up on Michigan in the first half. It's 24-3 or about to be, and it could be much worse.
Coach rolled the pocket, didn't let him get hit, strip sack, threw it to the edge of the corner of the end zone where only his man could make it. Great play call, Steve Sarkisian. He took the turnover out of play.
And a great route, too, by Matthew Golden, and a great throw by Qunn. I mean, Quinn's just making dart after dart.
Roll pocket, take away their blitzer, throw it to the corner of the end zone where only your guy can make a play. He took away the ability of a turnover on that play, and then you get the touchdown on top of it. Great play call, great execution.
Well,
Guys, go ahead, Coach.
Watching that play by Loveland when he fumbled it, what a great teaching tool to show young kids how you better tuck the ball when you catch it.
Yeah.
They just showed the replay again of that fumble, and it was just careless ball security. Nobody even touched him.
UT boy said woodshed. UT boy, you've been calling it all week. We'll see what happens.
I know there's a lot of NFL scouts there, guys. I mean, Quinn Ewers is putting on a show here. I know the whole Texas team is, but Quinn is on point against this defense. He's 18 of 26, 200 yards plus in the first half, 2 touchdowns, maybe 1 bad pass the whole half. Texas has 280 yards of offense on the board against this Michigan defense. And again, Coach, they haven't been stopped. They've stopped themselves with some penalties and a missed kick. Yeah. That's crazy good.
Well, this second half and the remainder of the season are going to be huge in how this football team telling us how they respond to
success. Yeah.
Success.
Yep.
Because we're definitely got things rolling now. There was a time a couple of 3 years ago where we would come in and have a big game and then we would lay an egg the next game. And it's just so nice to see us consistently coming in. Last year we had a hiccup part of the Oklahoma game, but it's really good to see us have success. And how are we going to handle success? That's going to be the key.
Well, you're right about that. And, it is interesting, Jerry, that I talked to some folks this week who are covering, down there every day covering coaches and players. And I asked him what the mindset was. And he said, it kind of just feels like they're playing Iowa State or somebody. There's like a quiet confidence about them. They're not, making too much of it. And they just know if they go play their game, they can beat Michigan. I mean, that's just kind of the mindset. Some people thought that was like arrogant. Same time, just kind of humble confidence that we're really good. And if we play our game, we got it.
Hey, by the way, this is the best super chat of the half you could get. Where was it? Hold on. Michael Qunn, 0 snaps. Wow. There
you go. No punts against Michigan.
Wow.
No turnovers either, or no turnovers. 1 tackle for loss.
If not for a iffy holding call, which by the book it may have been, but sometimes that's not called. We're sitting here 31-3, guys.
Yeah, and if Bird Auburn makes the field goal he normally makes, it's 34-3. I mean, this is a runaway against the defending national champs. I mean, that's, Coach, pretty impressive. I'm sure if you're Sark and the coaching staff, what's the message? Just keep the foot on the gas and
absolutely. Absolutely. You don't leave any doubt. That's what I'm saying. You leave no doubt. Leave no doubt this first half was a fluke.
This is the only time Ohio State's ever cheered for Texas.
Oh yeah, I'm getting messages from my Ohio relatives right now.
I bet you are.
keep pounding,
Yeah.
We love it. Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, has anybody spotted CJ with his shades on and his costume up in the stands with the binoculars?
No, he's wearing the Texas gear today. We'll see after the game though. We'll see what he does Sunday night in the live stream.
Yeah, it's impressive, very impressive. And there's Quinn Ewers doing commercials locally. So there you go. The guy is he's backed it up.
He's making $3 million right now after going 18-26 for 203 in the first half.
Hey, look, I mean, he shows up in these spotlight games, guys. You realize, Coach, if he gets to 300 yards, which he's only 97 away from in the second half, he will take the lead for most 300-yard games against a top 10 opponent in the playoff era with his 7th.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
He's currently tied with Mac Jones from Alabama back in the day, and there's a couple other guys in that mix, but that would be alone by himself. Also, Flowers, Jared, Steve Sarkisian for the game plan in the first half. I mean, the script was on point, but just the game plan itself, really, really, and right when he felt like he could go to the run game with Jared Gibson and Trey Wisner, he did kind of catch Michigan off balance, and just a really, really well-called first half.
I think really well-called first half. My favorite play call was his last one.
Yeah.
Because he rolled the pocket. He took away the sack. He took away the strip fumble. Qunn had one place to go with that football in the red zone, corner, where only his guy by the pylon could make a play, Matthew Golden. That was a awesome, tremendous play call at that point in time in the game because there was no need to take a risk with a football or put your quarterback in a situation where he'd have to make that decision to take a risk with the football. But I think the best thing that's come out of this half for Texas is they ran the ball at Michigan. Because this is what matters against Georgia and Kentucky and down the line. Not that Kentucky's a great team, but I'm just saying the strength of these teams defensively. This is that what you're doing to Michigan right now is what you're going to have to do to Georgia and Kentucky in the SEC. That's the name of the game in the SEC. And then obviously Texas speed. Michigan can't. They don't have the speed Texas has. They don't have the playmakers in the secondary. And with all that speed that Texas has on the perimeter, man, Sark has a lot of fun with his tight end. But again, that offensive line controlling the run game, Coach Shipley, to me, is probably the best thing I've seen in terms of looking at the rest of the season.
Boy, it's got to really make them feel good and confidence. I can't imagine Flood or Sark letting these guys sit around and let it go to their head. They've got to keep this team hungry. They've got to keep an edge on this team because it's a long season. It is a long season. And we'll look back on this game, and it'll just be one little piece of the puzzle for the entire season. So we don't need to make more out of it than it is, although we can certainly bask in it because there's no players that are watching our podcast, and we can talk about all the good stuff we want to. But if you're in that locker room today, tomorrow, next week, you're just continuing to hammer, be your best, man. Be the best you can be today. Be the best you can be every play, and just keep pushing the ceiling on what this football team can do. After watching this first half, if we can match it up with a steady second half, I got a giddy feeling inside, guys.
Yeah, look, I mean, here's the thing for me too. So,
thank you, Derek.
Michigan, yes, thank you. Michigan, look, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. There's half a game to play, but Texas would have to start turning the football over in this game. But if Michigan doesn't score a touchdown on this possession, Coach, then they're really cooked. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Unless Texas just get hands pick sixes, strip returns for touchdowns over in this game. Michigan has to score a touchdown on this possession on offense. That's a lot of pressure for a Michigan offensive team that hasn't mounted a drive for a touchdown.
Darwin,
Somebody wants
thanks
to know
for
from
the
you, Coach, is the talent disparity as obvious to you as it seems?
I've been cautiously optimistic about that, but I continue to see us come in from last season on into this season, and against such a highly touted defense, it's starting to show the talent that we have on this team compared to all you can compare this to is last year's national champion. Obviously we know that they've lost a lot of players. They lost their head coach, but they still have a lot of talent, and there's a lot of NFL football players wearing the blue out there today. And so, yes, it's starting to separate. That's starting to become obvious to me. Now, again, don't let that go to your head, especially if you have anything to do with what's going on with this football team. Don't let it go to your head. But for us fans out there talking, it's becoming obvious to me that we are who we hoped we would be. I think that we're going to go undefeated, but that we're one of the top teams in the country.
Look. I mean, my thing is we talked about this, and it kind of sounded crazy, I think, to some people when I first started chirping about this. But from a recruiting standpoint, this is easily the fastest team 1 through 85 Sark has had. And that's, look, there's the fastest man in history is Xavier Worthy at the combine, right? And A.D. Mitchell ran 4.35 at the combine. But 1 through 85, this is what you see here is 3 straight top 5 recruiting classes and making good blue blood decisions in the portal, adding more speed with that experience. Texas upgraded speed at a number of positions within their program. And we're not just talking wide receiver. It's hard to be as fast as that group was last year. Now they're faster as a room than last year. They have more versatility. But here's the thing. This is the fastest team Sark's had. And it is showing up today. But the only way it shows up again is if Texas is handling their business in the trenches against the team that's either going to be the first or second best defensive line they go up against this year. I mean, so the recruiting of the interior guys obviously has been huge for this program on the offensive line, but this team is really fast 1 through 85. They've added twitch, speed, length, and speed at a number of positions. Instincts at safety is faster football players. So it's not just about running a 40. This is easily the fastest team Sark's had, and it really shows up if you handle your business in the trenches.
Is there a
100%.
faster team? Aaron, have you or Jerry ever seen a faster team on the 40 acres overall?
I haven't. I mean, maybe 05.
Maybe
because Vince was so fast. I mean, your quarterback could
and that secondary had some dudes that could flat out run.
But
wide receiver wise, not close. I mean, no, Coach. I
don't see it. And along with an incredibly large offensive line and a very good offensive line, this is the best offensive line that I've seen at Texas since I was probably since the 80s.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, by the way, Michael Spruley says, I hope recruits are watching. Here's the great thing about this game. Texas needs to go handle the business second half. Every kid in the country is watching this game unless they're at a college game right now. That's what this game is. This is 11 a.m. It was game day. It was Fox Big Noon. It's Texas versus Michigan. Every kid in the country is sitting there watching this game that's not at a different college game right now. That's the benefit of these games if you go in and play well. I mean, why do you think Nick Saban recruited at such a high level? Why do you think Kirby Smart has? Dabo did for a while. These games are everything because every kid's watching them. So if you go show out in these games, you just got to, going into them that everybody's watching them unless they're a different college game on a visit right now. So are recruits watching? You're damn right they're watching.
Well, and I would say in my pocket right now, I have this $100 ticket on Quinn Ewers for Heisman Trophy at plus 1,000 out in Vegas this summer. I got that. I'm feeling good because not only does Quinn playing great, but he's going to have several of these kind of marquee games, Coach, to play just like this, where everybody's watching. This one, Oklahoma's down the road here. Georgia, obviously. A&M at the end of the year, the Big 12 champion or the SEC championship game. And that's how you have your Heisman moments in these kind of games, and feeling pretty good about your quarterback right now. You have to be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You get into situations and you can get out the measuring tape and you can measure their hands, their arms, their speed, their strength, all that stuff. He's got the Colt McCoy, he's got the Vince Young, he's got that moxie about him that he's gonna play big in big games, and that's pretty obvious. And he's done it many more times than he hasn't.
By the way, here you go, Greg Jackson. The TV ratings on this game are going to be crazy. 100% agree with that. Yep. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be a lot.
Well, first half anyway. We'll see what happens to the second half rating.
Well, the Ohio State. What time does Ohio State play today? Because they're all watching, having fun.
Well, they're playing. They're not playing anybody today. They don't play anybody until they play Oregon.
The whole state of Ohio is tuning in for the entire game.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're loving it. I mean, it's on every sports bar in Ohio is rocking and rolling right now. Beat that team up north, and Texas is doing it right now. 24-3. There was a touchdown taken off the board. Add to that was on a holding call on Cameron Williams on the outside, but could be 31-3. Look at that, 280 yards to 88 total for Michigan. Pretty much every stat you would consider, Coach, at halftime. I mean, you're up 200 total yards. You're up 2-0 in the turnover battle. Your offense has only had one negative play and 0 punts, and a time of possession of nearly 20 minutes to 10. That was Michigan's game plan, Jerry and Coach. I mean, that was their game plan, was to shorten this game. Texas is the one possessing the ball.
No doubt about it. And look, we talked about it all the last couple of days, Coach. We got into a conversation about would you take the ball? And the reasons you take the ball in this game, if you have the ability, if you win the coin toss, the reason you take the ball isn't to beat your chest, think you're going to go down and score a touchdown necessarily. If you do, that's great. But it's to keep Michigan from starting the game with some crazy 14-play, 80-yard drive where you look up and half the first quarter's gone. It's actually gone the opposite for Michigan. Texas mounted the drive. They had the false start penalties. They had the hold penalty. But Texas has mounted multiple drives now in this game and have just dominated time of possession. But it all started with that first decision to take the ball because Texas grabbed momentum. Even though they missed the field goal, they started grabbing momentum in that game. And then once they got up, again, once you get up 2 scores on Michigan, it really changes their mindset offensively. Now, they still have to be they have to be patient with the run on this first series. But if they don't do anything on this first series, they're going to abandon ship a little bit. But again, the decision to take the ball, Coach, kept Michigan from getting into the game they wanted if you mounted the drive.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. You know, one guy that I really like who I feel sorry for him, DeAndre Moore.
I know.
Didn't have a catch last week, comes in, gets the first touchdown of the game in the big house, gets called back. And he hasn't had a catch or a target since then, I don't think. But would love to see him have a little success here in the second half. And how about this, guys?
Finding a seam there for Qunn, who was rolling to his right. And still, I think that was a ticky-tack call. And so Texas has overcome a couple of those because there was also a late hit out of bounds that was not called, by the Michigan Wolverines too. But either way, penalties are the one thing that would stick out for Texas that you don't like. But they forced the 2 turnovers. They've scored 10 points off of those turnovers. Done a nice job. Our halftime coverage brought to you by One Source Gas of Austin, my buddy Richard and his team. They're 12 years, or almost 13 now, providing compressed gas needs for folks up and down I-35. They're growing like crazy because their customer service is the best. If you own a bar or restaurant, service industry of any kind, One Source should be your call. Also, a veterinary clinic or anything in the hospital, in the medical field that uses compressed gases, they are your best choice every time. Don't sign you into long-term contracts like a lot of other people do. They just know they're going to earn your business on a month-by-month and day-by-day basis. One Source Gas of Austin, your Texas compressed gas leader. It's One Source. You see the website there. Spell out the word one, onesourcegasatx.com, or call Richard and his team, 214-8484. Rod B., looking pretty good, man. How about a blowout in Ann Arbor? You good with that?
Yeah, I mean, I had basically a 2-touchdown win for Texas, and I was like, man, 2 touchdowns. I hope I'm not being too arrogant here, but turns out, I mean, everything that we thought about this matchup I think it came to fruition. Texas is faster. Michigan can throw the football downfield, and Texas actually can match up with Michigan in the trenches. And that was going to be one of the kind of the big question marks, right? Can they match up with Michigan in the trenches, especially Michigan's defensive front? And Jake Majors made himself a lot of money today, gentlemen. Jake Majors.
Yes.
He's having the game of his life. Gunnar Helm is having some guys just having the game of their lives out there, guys. Gunnar Helm is having the game of his life. We've never seen Gunnar Helm have a game this good. So maybe them being preoccupied with all the other weapons for Texas that they forgot about Gunnar Helm, and he made them pay. I think he's got 6 receptions already. I mean, he had 6 receptions in any game in his career. And yet in the big game against Michigan, he shows up. So I love that for him. But Sark is doing it's really a masterful job of play calling. I said going in, you got to lead with the pass. They definitely have led with the pass. 60%, I believe, pass rate in the first half. That's exactly where he needed to be. Also, Qunn. I mean, Quinn's done a great job of handling the pressure. Quinn's made some of his best throws under pressure. So not only has Sark won the chess match against Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator for Michigan on the other side, but Qunn has been able, when there is pressure applied, he's been able to maneuver in the pocket, keep plays alive, make really smart decisions with the football, and really Qunn has been the difference. And I said when Cedric Baxter went down, you got to give this team to Qunn. You got to give the offense to Qunn. It's his offense. Give it to him. He's ready for it. 3rd year starting quarterback in this system. You know, he's ready now to operate and be able to improvise within the structure of the system, but then paint outside the lines when he needs to, which we've seen the last couple of weeks with him. Yeah, Quinn's the difference right now with this team. They put pressure on him, but he has made all the right decisions and he has made all the right throws when pressure has been applied.
Hey, Rod, one of the things we talked about headed into this game on Friday was last year, Graham and Kenneth Grant averaged 30 to 32 snaps a game. They played 50 last week against Fresno. These guys are playing more snaps than they're accustomed to, and I think it's having an impact because the way their rotation was last year, they had fresh legs all the time, right? We remember that with the teams that have that depth, and they have some young, really good defensive linemen. But obviously, the Michigan staff doesn't think those kids are ready yet. They're asking Graham and the other defensive linemen to play more snaps consecutively than they had to last year. And Texas is moving those guys in the run game. And I think that I expect that to continue in the second half. Michigan better score a touchdown here on their first possession.
Yeah, the hope, I think, for Michigan was that they were going to shrink the game, right? They were going to shrink the game, and that they were going to be the ones having more ball control than Texas. That has not been the case at all. Texas has been able to have ball control, convert, and keep the football. So they've had more plays, just simply that. I mean, they've been able to have more plays and longer sustained drives. And as we thought, in Michigan, they're not a threat throwing the football downfield, not at all. And their running game hasn't been, stonewalled, but it hasn't been a running game that's going to, by any means, be able to lead them to any consistent, long, sustained drives against Texas. And their one playmaker, Loveland, he had one of the worst plays for Michigan where he just fumbled without anybody even touching him. So when your best playmakers on offense are fumbling on the football without any contact, it's a bad day for you, Michigan.
Rod, the most success they've had throwing the ball was what kind of play?
Flea flicker, baby. Trick
play.
You call it.
We may see one right here. We may see one on this series too. We may see another trick play because they got. Jerry's right. They have to be successful with this drive. If they're going to pull anything out of the hat, they better pull it out this drive, or they may not have another chance.
Well, guys, at least for 30 minutes, the narrative coming in was Texas is really, really good. That was confirmed against Colorado State. But, Michigan's got some serious issues coming off of the national championship team. And those have both played out. I think, if Texas holds on and wins this game, which it looks like they will, they're going to be fine and they'll get ready for UTSA. Michigan's got some issues, as Rod just said. They weren't hiding anything against Fresno State. That this is not the same team that won the national championship last year by any stretch of the imagination. They play USC in 2 weeks. Trojans are their opponent in 2 weeks.
Yeah, again, this is a Rod. I mean, Michigan has to score a touchdown. Field goal doesn't really do them any good here. They got to come out and score a touchdown on this drive.
Go into that
they have
building,
to
put three.
mount a drive and score a touchdown, which they haven't done all day. If they can't do this on this drive, even if they get 3 points here, they're going to need Texas turnovers to win this football game.
Yeah.
No, if they score a touchdown, maybe you chip away and get it to a 1-score game if you get it. But if you only get a field goal here, I mean, you're still down 3 scores.
Yeah, and they're just, well, the truth is they're not equipped for even this circumstance right now to be down 3 touchdowns. This is not Michigan football. Now they got to spread it out, and now they're predictable in the passing game. They could try to run the football. That'll be, I'm with you, they could try that, but I think right now, ultimately, now the game is in the hands of Davis Warren. This is exactly where Texas wanted it to be, where they had to be in a predictable passing situation, and they had to throw the football to win. That's where Michigan is right now. They got to throw the football to win. They got to make some plays down the field in the passing game, which is arguably their worst trait as an offense.
Hey, Rod, what did we talk about before the season, too? Sark's going to have an expanded circle of trust at wide receiver, and we do think he does. But in this game, you're seeing who Sark and Qunn are on the same page with at wide receiver. There isn't a lot of rotation.
Golden, Bond, right? Those two guys. Moore. Yeah, yep. Those guys are pretty much in it. Now
you're seeing who Sark trusts to be in the right spot at the right time and run his offense in this environment. And that doesn't mean Wingo's not going to be a tremendous player, because I think by midseason he's going to be awesome and he is going to be a first rounder. But that does tell you that these 3 guys, as far as the offense, are ahead of the other guys in what Sark and Qunn trust.
Yep, totally agree. Yeah, and Golden's definitely the red zone guy. Red zone guy established.
Hey, Rod, how good was that red zone call on the last touchdown? We were talking about this. What did Sark do? He rolled the pocket. He took the strip sack away. He took the decision out of Quinn's hands to force a ball. He threw it to only one spot where his guy could make a play. If not, it was a field goal. That was a great play call.
No, and it was an NFL throw. I mean, the throw was on the money.
Yeah. Colston Loveland, another penalty. This guy's having a rough go here. That's a holding
call. Guys, I'm going to step out for a few minutes.
All right, buddy. All right, so Rod Babers in our third quarter here. It's brought to you by the Spreadwise app, your secret weapon for your elimination NFL football pool. You just mentioned there, Rod, with the throw. I mean, the Fox guys keep throwing the highlights, but man, just explosive throws out of his hand. I mean, that's only the ball's just zipping out of his hand. He's throwing it from different platforms. He's zipping it.
I mean, I talked about Qunn, have that capability, be able to put the cape on at one time like Superman, make those wild plays in those big moments on the big stage. That's exactly what we're seeing from Qunn. There's no question. Some of his draft highlight reel stuff will be from this game, a couple of those throws, and he's escaping pressure really well, using his legs at the right time. His decision-making right now is as good as I've ever seen it.
Yeah, the first touchdown to Gunnar Helm where he stepped up in the pocket and delivered it down the field with a flick like that. I mean, that's big time.
That's NFL stuff. That's NFL stuff. I mean, I need you to buy some time. I need you to work in the pocket and still be able to get through progressions deep downfield. And that's exactly what he did. And the ball was on the money. That was a great play.
The accuracy with that is because sometimes scouts will worry about the sidearm stuff, but as long as it's accurate, that's fine. Just get it there.
He's shown accuracy on the move in this game. Yeah. A lot of accuracy on the move.
Yeah, both going right and left. Even the interception, the touchdown that got called back, he was rolling all the way to the end line and threw back across and hit DeAndre Moore for the touchdown. Do you think that was holding, Rod?
Cam Williams. Look the other side of it. They didn't really show the other side of it. I need to see what those hands are.
I've seen worse in the Big 12 not get called. Big 12 officials.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a passing. Well, who officials are these? Are these SEC Big 10 officials? Do we know? All right. Oh,
Makuba.
Nice play. Makuba's having a hell of a day. There's certain guys, Gunnar Helm, Jake Majors, Makuba. They're having like some of the best games I've ever seen them play. It's got to be on the biggest stage.
Yeah. Hey, guys, a pick in this game on the tip drill. Great play by Manny Muhammad to force it. He's made, plays like that. This is why he came from Clemson, to showcase himself in games like this. He can really play.
You really can.
And he likes to get physical too, which you love about this defense right now. And Michigan's coming out running the ball. Texas will take that all day.
I mean, even if they're gaining yardage, which they're not gaining much, but even if they were, time is not your friend.
Yeah.
Time is not your friend.
Part of me thinks Michigan's going to start. I don't want to say they're giving up, but they're not going to abandon it because they need the confidence for their young quarterback. You can't just let him, throw him to the wolves. You got to stay within your offense for future games potentially to kind of get some rhythm here with this young offensive line. That's kind of what you got to be thinking big picture too if you're Michigan right now.
No, that's a good point because you used to start slinging it, and that's not Davis Warren. That's not really in his DNA as a QB. He's not that kind of quarterback. And Texas right now is an opportunistic defense, man. They're fast. They can fly around. And if you let them just pin their ears back and getting that NASCAR dime they've been playing on passing downs, that could be a problem.
Yep. And here goes an incomplete. I saw that was that time Trey Moore was pushing that right tackle right back into the lap of the quarterback. We saw Barron Sorrell's getting pressure. I mean, I don't think they have a sack registered yet, but they are pressuring the quarterback, especially off that right side.
Yeah, that was that.
Here comes Link. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah,
bull rush that time.
Dime I'm talking about, man. It is. That's a nasty package.
Oh yeah, that's your NASCAR package.
That's the NASCAR dime, man. I don't know what they call it. We got to find a cool name for it, but it's that NASCAR dime. They basically NASCAR. They put 3 defensive ends in there, and they play dime behind it. And they brought it out in the Michigan game a few times in third and long. It's their go-to third down package, pretty much. If they can play it, if it's medium and longer, they'll throw it out there.
All right, Longhorns get the punt, force the punt after 4 plays, and incomplete on 3rd and 4. I mean, this is not good for Michigan.
This could get ugly.
Well,
I don't know what Sark's going to do, but this thing could get ugly, man, because Michigan really hadn't shown the ability to stop Texas at this point.
No, I mean, we've got every stat, Rod. I mean, they're 20 minutes of time of possession. Third downs are 8 for 10.
I'm in with you, Rod.
Am I losing connection there, Rod?
A little bit.
Chopping up a little bit.
I don't know what's going on with this. I'm in the building here. It should be good, but it keeps reconnecting. But yeah, every stat's for Texas. 8 for 10 on 3rd down. I mean, and now you go down and score here, Jerry Hamilton, start warming up the bus.
Yeah, for sure. I think the one thing for me with the Texas offense, and Sark is all gas, no brakes, right? And I'm not saying for him to put on the brakes at all. What I am saying is be good. Be cautious with the football if you're Qunn Ewers. Protect the ball on contact if you're the running backs. I think the turnovers right now, Rod, are the only thing that can really let Michigan back into this game. A quick pick 6, a strip and score. It'd have to be a huge momentum-changing play to where they get a touchdown without having to drive the field to change some momentum in this game.
Yep.
It's all about not turning the ball over and playing a clean second half.
I agree with you. A non-offensive touchdown really is the only way Michigan can get back in the game. Because even if they score on offense right now, if they do, it's going to take them like 9 minutes. It ain't going to be it, though. They're not going to be it.
They already threw their trick play out for the day.
It's going to take them so long. It's like, all right, well, it takes you 8 minutes to score then, I guess. But if they can. So because they don't have a downfield passing game. So I agree with you, Jerry. Great point. It's got to be a non-offensive touchdown. It's got to be something on special teams. It's got to be a turnover. And right now, Texas has, like I said, Quinn's making all the right decisions, man. This is as good as I've seen Qunn play in terms of handling the pressure, extending the play, making throws on the move. I mean, this is, I pointed out earlier, this will be stuff on his draft highlight reel. That throw to Matthew Golden will be on there. That touchdown to Gunnar Helm. And how about just, guys like Gunnar Helm having, I love that he's having the best. You guys have no idea how satisfying it is for that dude to have his best game ever in the Texas-Michigan game. Like that is, and to show all these NFL scouts out. Oh yeah, no, I'm an NFL tight end. I know y'all are really excited about JT Sanders, but I can play on Sundays too. I can play at that level. Like it is. That's satisfying. Jake Majors going up against Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, doing work in the trenches.
Yeah. Doing great.
Lots
to like.
Yeah.
And Jaden Blue in the game, which is good to see. He kind of lost his feet then again there, but one more score, or even now you can start to be careful with Jaden Blue for the big picture too, because he left the game early. I'd also say this for Qunn. It reminds me, Jerry, Sark at SEC Media Days when we were up there. talked about the difference in Qunn and said, he's that guy. He's our quarterback, and he walks around our facility like that. He's our guy. Yep. We know we can win with him. He's got that confidence about him, and that's what we're watching right here. This is a guy that knows he's good, knows this offense in his third year, and is just playing at a super high level.
That's it. I mean, look, so it takes this is a difficult offense, Rod, as you point out all the time, for a quarterback to get comfortable in. He's now in year 3. Him and Sark are fully on the same page, and you're seeing that right now.
Yep.
That was a little too close for Conrad. That's a good play by 20.
That's why I think you feel confident giving it to Qunn. I mean, we've talked about the running back position. Even today, it was a little scary with the Jaden Blue thing. I'm glad he's toughing it out, getting back in there. So just a minor good play. Nick of some kind. But, the running game's not going to lead the way this year. And I think Sark now, he's smart enough to understand that the identity of the offense has got to run through Qunn, and it's got to run through the passing game. And, guys, it's not always vertical shots. I mean, he's being very, very judicious in his shots downfield, in my opinion. Like that first shot downfield to Matthew Golden, it was a double move.
Yeah. Well, and the one to Isaiah Bond down the right side on the first drive that didn't get points, but really set the tone for this game. But
that was Bond. Sorry, that was Bond. I apologize.
Yeah, Bond. I'd also say that Sark, it's like Sark with a toy. Sark has a guy who can put the ball anywhere he wants. So he's got these receivers going everywhere because he knows his quarterback has the arm to get it wherever it needs to be, and it just stretches the defense so badly. Nice defense on the screen pass. Good play by Qunn to get rid of it. Defense, Michigan stepped up there, got to stop after the first down. But Michigan played with some aggression there on the secondary. About time, right? I'm sure Wink Martindale's been saying, guys, what are we doing? We're playing slow here. But that was good defense on a screen pass.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think people are saying, well, that was a weird series of play calls. I mean, look, Michigan's got about 7 NFL players on their defense. Think they're going to make some plays, too, in a game like this. But I don't think Sark was conservative there. I think sometimes you give Michigan credit too. I mean, they got good players, so they needed to force a punt, and they did so. Now Texas is punting this ball into the wind. Michael Kern's first play of the game.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, man, he's the loneliest guy on the sidelines is the punter. That's his second punt of the year. It's in the third quarter of game 2. That's pretty good. All right. Well, Texas can play the field position game here and try to get after it. Rod, I mean, I know we'll get asked about it. You're the defensive guy. The offense is going to get all the headlines, but only 105 yards so far. We knew they were challenged offensively at Michigan, but still, the pass rush, you're seeing guys get pressure, which is big. I mean, what have you liked from what you've seen on the back end or on the defense?
Yeah, that's kind of you, challenged, to say the least. Yeah, I mean, the truth is they don't have a downfield passing attack, and I'm glad that Texas was, and they seemed to play it pretty straight up actually early on. They didn't early on try to stack the box, and Michigan came out spreading them out a little bit to try to run the football, but without a down the field threat, you can see Texas DBs being aggressive. You can see them sitting on routes when they spread them out. And I think Texas understands that Michigan really can't beat them downfield. And even the one, I think there was one time when Michigan had an open wide receiver deep, and Davis Warren missed him on that corner route. So it's like I said, I didn't want to be arrogant about it, but they really don't have and this is going to hurt them past the Texas game. They don't have a downfield passing attack. They just don't. And then that's fine when you have a dominant running attack, and you have a quarterback who's an NFL quarterback that when you need him to, he can make NFL throws. But that's not what this team is. They are a bad recreation and a bad cover version of hardball football.
I mean, I came in last week after the first game. We got to see them. It was like, well, what offense looks worse, Michigan's or A&M's? I mean, which offense looked more remedial? And that, maybe, Jerry, even Colorado State had some better skill players and a quarterback than Michigan's going to have. And we're seeing that show up here.
Yeah, definitely better wide receiver core. I mean, they have first, second round level guy out there in Horton in Colorado State. But I think what's going to be interesting here next time Texas gets the ball, do we see Jarrett Gibson again? Do we see a little bit of downhill run game, Rod? Because it looked like this first series, Sark was getting them going horizontally again. He was making them run that series. Now I kind of wonder next series, do we start to see what we saw later as the half went on, Sark starts to run that ball downhill a little bit because that was reminiscent of what Sark does. Get them going horizontally, get those running backs running, sideline to sideline a little bit. Then the next series you come and hit them.
Yeah, because he's basically, when Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham are in the game, to your point earlier, Jerry, he's basically kind of actively avoiding them.
Mm-hmm.
He edges, the quick screens on the outside, making their impact, less relevant. Like basically is essentially because he's putting everything on the edges. And when they're forced to rotate those guys, that's the few times where Texas will attack inside. So I think I'm with you. I think it's kind of part of the strategy that early on you just got to get those guys running horizontally, and it really worked well. And leading with the pass, that's what Texas is going to do too. So maybe they'll change it up, and they went with the 12 personnel. Like they had the 21, the pony package working early until they had the injury to Jaden Blue.
Hey, by the way, we're starting to see Trey Moore's impact a little bit as a Longhorn. He hasn't brought the quarterback down for a sack, but he's making some disruptive plays now. He's starting to affect the quarterback a little bit.
Yeah, he's gotten in the face a couple times. We saw Barron Sorrells do it too. And as Rod was talking about, as you dropped off for a minute there, Jerry, the NASCAR package or whatever they're going to call it, very effective on 3rd and long, and that's something we're going to see all year long. But Texas affecting their will, or putting their will on this team. Almost 300 total yards now. But here comes Michigan, desperate for a drive, desperate for some points. They only have 105 yards, and there was a good play by Jahdae Barron on the first down.
Yeah, they're sitting on routes. Honestly, I don't know why they haven't done the double move yet. Because Texas is being really aggressive, and the DBs they're sitting on basically at the sticks pretty much, waiting on the receivers to break. A double move is what I thought they'd try early. They didn't. They tried the flea flicker. I think it would be some trickery, but that would be the next phase for them because Texas DBs are being really aggressive, making great plays on the football.
Watch this play here. Trey Moore drops in coverage, reroutes Loveland.
Yeah, and there's Makuba playing a physical brand
right
of football.
Into Makuba. Rerouted him right into Makuba, Rod.
Yeah, the windows are really small. Like they are shrinking because there's no threat of a vertical pass. There's no threat of them going 20 yards more. So everybody just squatting and sitting on routes. So there's no way a Davis Warren is going to be fitting them balls in. Qunn would have a hard time fitting them balls in.
Oh man, finally a big play. What a throw. It took I thought Colin Simmons kind of gave up his integrity on that outside. He got Warren to the outside, and then he made a throw. That's one of those your coach saying, don't throw it. Worked out.
Yeah, your first round pick at tight end made a football play.
Yeah, against that NASCAR dime, too. That's what it is. Yep.
But look, so here's the thing for Michigan. Field goal, not much here. They got to score a touchdown. Yep. They got to get this to 2 scores. Then that gives you the ability, if you get a turnover, you can get it to 1. That's the way you got to fight back. Field goal does Michigan no good.
That was a big boy play. That was an NFL catch, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
In traffic. Who was the Longhorn down? Do we know? I didn't get to see, but he did run out of bounds, but then came back in. I guess he reestablished.
Oh, was he forced out? Yeah, he was pushed out. That's what it is.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah. Ooh.
But Longhorns, as long as that clock's running, they bled the first almost 6 minutes of this quarter, and still the same score. Longhorns have had it once. Michigan's had it once now, second time, and that's their first explosive play, right?
That I can remember. I can't remember another. Oh yeah, no, the flea flicker. The flea flicker had to be right. The flea flicker was the other one. The other explosive play for him. So then maybe there's 2 on the day.
I've not seen who was down. People are asking who's down. I did not see who that was down.
I couldn't tell you. I was looking for a number, but I didn't see it.
It's the first negative of this game for the Longhorns so far, outside of a couple of penalties and a missed field goal. Everything else has gone Texas's way, 24-3. Spreadwise app is your secret secret weapon for your elimination pool. Check it out. Download it. You can win your Survivor League, your elimination pool league in the NFL. Still time for this week's games, too, because only been 2 played. You got all day tomorrow, including those Cowboys and Browns. So get that Spreadwise app, the advanced algorithm to calculate and help you sort it out all season long. The Spreadwise app in your Apple Store or Google Play. Did somebody say
Derek Williams?
Derek Williams? Okay. Let's keep an eye on that.
He's been playing well. He plays well in the run game, too. He's a key for Texas safeties against the run.
which is a trick play, and then that one was just off of a roll out and buying time. As you said, Rod, nothing's really coming on schedule.
Yeah, that was a great play by Davis Warren. Great play by Colston Loveland. That really was. And so if that's how, listen, that's how hard they got to work. That's Texas. If you make them work that hard, Coach watching film will just say, guys, that guy made a hell of a play. He's on scholarship too. You guys, they extended that play to 5 to 6 seconds downfield. That's when the coverage deteriorates. He made a great play. That was against that NASCAR dime package that I love so much that they throw out there on third down. So that was against your most ideal, personnel grouping on defense too. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now they start doing, if he mosses them again, then we have to make some adjustments. Maybe start like bumping him off the line or something a little bit better. But that's just like Colston Loveland, man. That dude's a dude.
All right, we'll try to get an update on the injured Longhorn there. And here goes Davis Warren making another play with his feet, but not going to go very far.
Yeah. They've been smothering them, man.
Yeah, this team speed continues. And again, we're approaching halfway through the third quarter. Longhorns are happy to see it bleed like that.
We're told Derek Williams walked off the field, by the way.
Good
sign.
Gosh, and look at Michigan. They're taking this thing down to 4 seconds on the play clock. No hurry.
Said, they on another mission now. Yeah. It's a good run. It's their best drive so far of the game.
Yeah. They're coming off their best defensive effort, obviously forcing the first punt. Good to see both those guys okay. A little friendly fire with Michael Taff on Anthony Hill that time.
Well, here's the thing, too, about Michigan's offense. Rod's been talking about, it's not like they're going to go tempo and think they're going to go scoring into this game. They got to do what they do. You can't change. You can't change your identity. They have to go move the ball how they know how to move the ball. The key for them in this game is, can you get a touchdown to get it within 14? Because if you can get it within 14, then that opens the door for a turnover, short field, to start putting some pressure on Texas. But they're not going to sit there and spread the ball out and throw it around the yard and score a touchdown. They're going to do what they do and then hope their defense can get a short field for them. That's their only opportunity here.
Yep. And it's going to take them time to do that. That's Michigan football. They want to shrink the game, and they still have to operate within that framework.
Rod, if they're down 24-3 at half, their goal is probably to get it to a one-score game in the middle of the fourth quarter and let the chips fall where they may.
Exactly. That's exactly where they are, which means their defense has to stonewall Texas for a quarter and a half now.
Without allowing any more points, which they haven't slowed Texas down. They did stop them on that last drive.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right, another big third down here. Another big third down. So far, Michigan 2 for 8 on the third downs, and this one's a third and a little over 5.
Because they've been third and medium and third and long a lot of the time. They hadn't been third and very short, and that's what
and that's what's impressive about Texas too. That 8 for 11 on third down. Several of those were third and long.
Yeah, they are. Qunn making plays. Just Qunn making plays.
Qunn making throws, throwing dimes. There's zone read with Orgy. That's a play call that I don't get. I mean, Orgy's in the game, and he's going to run.
I agree. There's no creativity when Orgy's in there. There's no threat of anything else.
Yeah, they just attack him. It becomes a piece of meat with a bunch of animals. Get him.
It really
Get him.
They're running him like they have last year's O-line.
Right.
You got last year's O-line. You can just do that. You can't do that. That's a deception.
And now they're kicking a long field goal. Do they have the win with them?
Yes. It's a downwind field goal, and their kicker's a pro. He is an NFL. He is an NFL kicker.
He good.
All right, there you go. That's a nice kick. Oh, right down the middle. All right.
Yeah,
Texas. That's best case scenario. I mean, look at that. It took them that long to go down there and get 3 points. When you're up 21, you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Here's the thing for Sark. If he can just return a field goal on this drive, I mean, we're effectively done here. Because then you're going to be at the end of the third quarter. If you can return a field goal here, you don't have to score a touchdown. If you return a field goal, eat up 4.5 minutes here, effectively over. Yep. Unless you start turning the ball over.
Agree. You got to go turnover free, basically turnover free, and don't give up a non-offensive touchdown of some kind. If you do that, then on special teams, well, you're good. I mean, it's because I agree. I think honestly, Jerry, the field goal would be good, but like you said, even the first drive when they went all the way down without getting the field goal, it still had a very kind of devastating impact on Michigan because Texas set the tone. And by the way, I love that they took the ball first. We talked about it. Right. Take the ball first, be aggressive, score first, and set the tone. And Sark did that, man. Sark, we haven't talked about it enough. Sark's game plan has been a masterful.
And Rod, you know what that taking the ball first did? We were talking about it is what that did was keeping Michigan from getting their perfect start to the game. Received the ball, 14-play, 80-yard drive, and we're half the first quarter's over.
Yep.
Obviously, going into the game, that's what they had hoped. It hadn't worked out that way, but that's what taking the ball did too. Is Texas mounted the drive, but it kept Michigan from getting control of a game how they wanted it to go on the first series of the game.
Yep. No, I totally agree with you. You're right about that, and I love that because I think that was, and I got to go back and check and see how often Sark does that, but to me, that was him understanding the matchup and the contrasting styles that are at play here. It's like, no. I need them playing my game. I cannot get sucked into playing Michigan style of football. And if they get the ball first, there's a chance. And now your defense has been great. So maybe defense probably would have stopped now looking back at it. But there's a chance you get sucked into playing Michigan style of football because they get one of those long drives you're talking about. So I love it. And what have I talked about with Sark teams? The run. You got the run. The run happened right at the end of the first half. Because you got the turnover that contributed to the run, and then Texas, where they scored in like a minute down the stretch to really separate themselves from Michigan. Now, hell, you might have another one, but Michigan's playing the way they're playing now is they're trying to avoid another Texas run. Keep the football. We got to have a drive of some kind, guys, so we don't just give the football right back to them, and that usually limits the amount of time and possession Texas has. So they'll limit a Sark run, but we got one at the end of that first half, and mostly it was because of Loveland and that fumble, but Texas was scored. They scored those, touchdowns on 3 consecutive drives there or something like that, and put it out of reach, or 2 consecutive drives and put it out of reach.
Yeah, they kicked a field goal after the interception, and then the 2 touchdowns, and one right before the half, which was a backbreaker for Michigan. Yeah. And now the Longhorns would like to eat up the rest of this third quarter. And I agree with you, Jerry said earlier about maybe some Jarrett Gibson time here, get a big back in there, but ball security is your biggest factor right now. A couple of scores, guys, as we kick it off here. Penn State in a dogfight with Bowling Green at Happy Valley. It's 27-24 entering the fourth, or almost to the fourth quarter there. 3-point ball game. Tulane is beating Kansas State at home 20-13, and Arkansas up on Oklahoma State 21-10 right now. That game in Stillwater. Razorbacks on the road looking good. Up 11. All right, here, this is a big drive, guys. I mean, you feel good about where you are, but this can be the backbreaker, as you said. You start warming up the bus, Jerry. You even go get a field goal here and bleed 5 minutes off this clock.
That's the key. I mean, look, you don't want a 3-and-out here. Is what you don't want to do because you're punting it into the wind. You don't want a 3-and-out. So we'll see what Texas does here on this drive. But you need to mount a little bit of a drive and eat this clock for sure, because this is a clock game right now. For Texas, and that doesn't mean conservative play, but what you don't want to have is 3-and-out.
Well, there's a long bomb or a post route on first down to Matthew to Silas Bolden, falls incomplete into the wind too. There's a flag down on the next play. I got the score thing that Matthew puts up for us is a little bit ahead of the TV.
Wow, I don't mind it though. You had 1-on-1. He wanted to take the 1-on-1 the shot. That was trying to deliver the dagger.
That was, and now you got to get a first down here. No 3-and-outs. That's not going to help. Flag is down. Whoa. Legal shift on Texas. That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Well, he had multiple.
This is not what you wanted to see.
Yeah, he had multiple guys in motion on that play.
Look, that's the second group of wideouts. Illegal shift on Jonte. in the game right now. Second group of wideouts.
All right, now I got you second and long here. Got to be careful. This is where we talk about ball security. Something quick for Michigan. You can't do that. They're right back in this game. Get careless. 5 minutes to go, third quarter.
Sark usually tries to cut it in half when he's got.
There's Gunnar Helm. He's been the big guy this week. I mean, this game, Gunnar Helm approaching 100 yards receiving. He's been the security blanket, Rod, in this offense.
It's been amazing. I mean, it's they just have. I mean, he's been taking advantage of one-on-ones. My big question with Gunnar Helm was, can he win a one-on-one in the game consistently? And he's showing in his Michigan game he can win one-on-ones.
And another perfect throw by Qunn. Out in front, led the way, bullet.
And look, that was an off-platform throw, Rod. That was off back foot with pressure in face.
Yep.
That's an NFL throw right there.
Fading
Look
back
out,
to the left.
look out, look out, look out. Holy smoke, what a great play call. Trey Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan Wingo time, baby.
nice
play.
Wow, great play call. Great play call. That's amazing. Good job.
Well, and you see
His
them
second-
switching up.
Yeah.
They switched
second
sides, and Michigan was trying to switch with them, and that was a great play call. Look how many blue shirts are on the wrong side of the field.
And second group of wide receivers making plays.
All right, well, there's another self-inflicted wound by Texas on that one. I'm not sure what's going on with Qunn and the running backs here on these little handoffs.
But hey, smart play by Qunn. Running back goes the wrong way. Just get down, take your loss. Yeah. No fights, no 15-yarders. Kenneth Grant's getting a little mad. He's played more snaps than he wants to. Again, look, here's the key. I'm not being conservative. 3 points is a massive win on this drive. No turnovers. 3. If you get 7, great. But if you get 3 here, you're still 3 touchdowns. Has Michigan scored a touchdown?
No. And if they did, it's going to take them a while to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, and that should have been a penalty. That should have been a penalty on 91. And put his head down right into Quinn's face. I mean,
I love that Qunn took a knee there and didn't try to force something. That's a third-year starting quarterback. That's a growth play. It's okay. You're up 18 points. That should have been a penalty. You're up 18 points, and a field goal is a win right now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, Quinn's on his knee, and the guy went helmet to helmet with him. I know he was coming, but still, that looked like it could have been. But now it's offsetting, but it'll be second and goal.
What I love even more, though, is that the O-line had his back.
Yeah. No, we need to fight. You got to fight on that. DJ, you know this, Jerry, you've told us, having covered DJ Campbell, that's the guy you don't want to meet in the alley.
That's right. That's right.
Get off my quarterback, man. I like that. That's what I'm saying.
DJ Campbell, you want him on your team when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Again, points, no turnover, points. That's the key.
Yeah, 100%. Good defense by Michigan there that time. They didn't buy the eye candy and stayed where they needed to be.
Yeah.
And Quinn's made a lot of those good decisions here where he's gotten rid of the ball and just not put it in harm's way.
There's no panic. There's no panic with this dude right now, man. Even there's some situations where in previous years he'd have panicked and done something crazy and tried to throw it up and then throw it away. No, there's none of that happening right now. He is cool, calm, and there's poise. Is what
game time.
Yep, but here comes Jaden Blue back into the game, guys. There he goes. Watch him.
Wow.
Too fast. Touchdown. Wow, Texas clinic. Guys, that's just a simple toss sweep from the old days, right? I mean, you're just getting that ball out there with
yeah.
I mean, that's just a toss sweep.
That's it. That's it. That's a run. That's a run play. Testing the perimeter of their defense for Michigan, Rod Babers, and it's a tired defense.
It essentially it's basically an empty formation because once he exits the backfield, that basically turns him into a receiver. It should be for the defense. And I always talk about empty formation is really tough to defend once that guy's outside the backfield. And you're right, the same leverage points, and you're trying to achieve the same thing as your toss sweep back in the day. Except now we do it with Jaden Blue catching the pass. Yeah, man. It's
by the way, I hope Peyton and Eli are watching because Arch may get in this game.
Yeah. How about that? Arch could see the field here because if Texas gets one more 3 and out, need another field goal. This game is well in control. Texas is now mission accomplished in the third quarter. They've outscored Michigan 7-3 now. In the there's about 2.5 minutes to go. Feeling pretty good about things.
And Michigan's getting chippy. So, and last thing you want to do is some BS hit on Qunn in this game.
Yep.
They're getting chippy. They're getting their ass kicked in their house, and it's not going to go over well.
Yep. Might need to take out Jaden Blue, put in Jared Gibson. Yep. I like the second group of wide receivers already in there. It might be time for all the second team guys. I'm with you on that, Jared. I like that.
Because they're going to when these guys start getting chippy, you got to watch your guys' health.
Yep. Hey guys, listen. I mean, we can't say it enough, but Quinn Ewers, I mean, just overcoming these things. You just said the poise rod. He's not getting rattled. But that third down throw to Gunnar Helm just to keep this drive alive, to give him another set of downs. I mean, overcoming negative plays and being smart about it. It's just really the maturation of a really talented player.
Yeah, I mean, we always knew he had the skills, right? The physical tools. That was never a question. It was always about his pocket presence, his poise, and how he handles pressure. And I think in this game, he's answered all those questions. I've seen him handle pressure from an NFL defensive coordinator against NFL players who will be drafted on Sunday in this game on a big stage, and the poise that he's shown to make the right decisions under pressure, to be cool, calm, and collected amidst chaos. The second reaction plays too.
Oh boy. Sorry. Get warmed up.
Oh man, they're bad. That's an easy play for Derek Williams, the Raptor. Gobbling it up, but just a bad throw and receiver not on the same page. This game, we are going to see Archer Manning in this game.
I'm telling you, they can't throw downfield. They can't throw down. I'm telling you, I mean, it's amazing. Like I don't know how they're going to score in the Big Ten. They can't throw the football downfield. Guys.
They're back to the Wilton Spate days.
They really are. And the DBs, they notice they're just sitting on the routes, guys. They're not even back. They're not even back. They're just sitting. They're just sitting on them. They're sitting at the 6. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they don't go double move, because the DBs are not. They don't even respect their vertical game. Look at him. He's playing safety. He's just sitting on the route. It's a beautiful, beautiful interception. Hey, where's that turnover sword? Where's Tex Caliber?
Yeah. Tex Caliber.
Yeah.
I ain't seen Tex Caliber all day. What Tex Caliber shot said, man? Did they not bring Tex Caliber on the road? Tex Caliber don't travel. I don't know.
Maybe it's a home game thing. Yeah, that's the third one, though.
They just showed it.
There it is.
I was going to say, where's Tex Caliber, man? Come on.
Put 3 balls on there. Put 3 flat footballs on there.
Come on, man.
Jaden Blue's still in the game.
No, get Jaden Blue out of there. What are we doing? I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Get him out of there.
I agree.
I'll get him out of there. Jared Gibson needs some reps. So we need Jared Gibson to mature quickly. So he needs those reps. Get him out of there.
Yeah, if you're Texas, you need this third down. You've been great on that, 9 for 13. This is a big opportunity here because, I mean, you get first down here, you can end the third quarter, essentially.
Yeah, maybe we put him in the fourth quarter. Maybe that's how it goes.
Hey, you're just trying to play clock here now and not get anybody hurt. This game is well in command, obviously.
Is it safe to say Sharon Moore won't be getting that contract across his desk this week?
I saw on the pregame show that they got him. They paid him. They signed something. Got signed today or yesterday.
He has a working agreement, but did they actually throw the contract at him?
They probably don't want to sign that contract down. They're probably like, nah, we're good. Thanks, Jim.
Hey, listen. In addition to being the coach of Michigan, he's also a Sooner. So all Longhorn fans are loving this, right? He played at Oklahoma. Sharon Moore. I feel bad for him. But Jim Harbaugh left him with all this problem, man. He got no quarterback. And Jim Harbaugh hung around before he took the Chargers job, so the portal was all empty. Couldn't get anyone in the portal.
Jim Harbaugh,
they are saying he signed his contract this morning, which that's great timing. I got to give it to Michigan. Really good timing there.
Is the ink
By the way,
yet?
the fans don't like the call. I love the call. Here's the thing. It's 31-6. I'm fine with it.
No,
with that play call.
They can't throw the football downfield, guys. There's no need to risk anymore. They're good. This thing's over. They literally can't throw it down.
Texas has the wind in the fourth quarter too. Yeah. So I'm fine with this. I'm fine with that conservative play call up 31-6. If you lose this game 31-6, then this is going to be one hell of a chat. It's not going to happen.
They're yeah, exactly. It's over, guys. For what you've seen now, you should know they pose no threat to come back from 31-6 down. They can't
unless you give them things.
Yes,
yep.
exactly.
Even then, it's going to be a challenge.
That's right, Aaron. What if you throw that and it's tipped and it's returned for a touchdown? Michigan's still not going to win the game, but then they actually have some excitement. This is that run right there. What you're saying is, all right, Michigan, go drive at 90 on us and do it in 2 minutes. Not happening. That's playing smart football.
They'll turn it over before they do that, guys. They'll turn it over to you again. They'll give it back to you. They try to do that, they'll do it back to you. Trust me. They're not equipped to do it. Yeah.
Every throw is going to be challenged and knocked down. They had to have a miracle play on that one down the sidelines to Colston Loveland, but their two big explosive pass plays were a flea flicker and a miracle.
Yeah. I see 6'6", 370 in the game over the ball.
Was that that's Sadir.
Running the ball.
Yeah, and they ran right at him.
Yeah, they're like, hey, well, they got it. I mean, that's their DNA is to run the rock, guys. So that's why you're up 31-6. They're not a threat because their DNA is to run the rock. Even when they're down like this, they can't switch. They can't, code switch in the middle of the game. They can't do it.
Rod, you say all the time you have to break tendency, but you can't break, and you do have to break tendency, but you can't break your identity. That never works.
Exactly.
You break the tendency, but you can't break your identity.
Yeah, they are who they are.
All right, we are 7 quarters into the 2024 football season. The Longhorn defense is still not allowed a touchdown. Of course, they pitched the shutout last week, and now Michigan with 2 field goals, one of them more than 50 yards. Feeling pretty good about that. They've also scored, 31 and 52. They're 83 to 6 so far with 1 quarter to go. Pretty good, guys. 373 yards, and safe to say the third quarter was a success. You outscored Michigan 4 points and didn't have any turnovers and short fields, and now they've got to go 90 yards on this drive to even scare the end zone. So looking good.
Let's talk about this. So this isn't stat-wise for Qunn. It's not going to grab the headlines, but 24-34, 246, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But Rod, he's made great decisions the whole game. This game isn't statistically going to vault him to the top of the Heisman conversation, but this is growth as a quarterback in this game, more importantly. We're seeing a third-year quarterback that's comfortable in his own skin, that's comfortable being the leader of the Texas program, that's comfortable with Sark, and he is making the 2 knees he took when the running back went the wrong way. That's growth plays. Who cares if you kick a field goal at that point in time? Growth plays. You're in control of the game. You don't try to do too much, and you go make the right plays at quarterback. He's showing a lot today.
I agree. The maturity that we've seen, like the poise that we've seen from him, it's been unbelievable. The scouts will watch this. Like you said, the stats may not blow you away, but the scouts will watch this film and they'll see how he handles pressure, how he's buying more time in the pocket, extending some plays in the pocket. They'll see the off-platform throws, and they'll see decision-making, more importantly, how he's living to fight another day, making really good decisions with the football. There's no panic in his game now. There was panic in Quinn's game last year. There's still a little bit of panic in his game when he was under pressure and in some really, compromising situations as a quarterback. I've seen him in this game in some of those very same scenarios, and he is just cool, calm, and collected under pressure. And it feels like the game has slowed down to a crawl for him as a quarterback. It really has, especially in this offense.
Hey, by the way, Kyle Voshka, Jerry says head coaches always know when to leave. Rod, they always know when to leave.
Yeah.
Do they not? Yeah. Right before the penalties.
Okay, Jim.
Right before you lose all your players. These guys who are successful, they have really good timing of when to take jobs and when to leave jobs.
That's right. And Harbaugh got out while the getting was good, and he's a legend at Michigan. Because look, everybody, I'm sure on the the in-game chat or the post-game show for Michigan, they're going to be saying Sherrone Moore's not any good and whatnot. We need Harbaugh back, that kind of stuff. But, we see what he's dealing with and was left with. And again, I'll point out that Harbaugh waiting to take the Chargers job as long as he did really made the portal. There wasn't much left by the time that was a challenge. And Texas attacked the portal with 10 or 11 guys who were watching them ball out here, helping plug holes as the Longhorns lost a lot of people too to the NFL. But it is, to your point about Quinn Ewers, I was exactly what I was thinking, Rod, when you said that I think the Heisman voters, or at least the nation, will watch this and say, man, Quinn's one of the best. But I agree with you. Those scouts on the sidelines watching this game are seeing the throws he's making, the decisions he's making. Because I think some of the decisions, as you guys said, are as good, just throwing the ball away. Yep. Even making throws where he's throwing it away, but it's not going to be grounding because there's a player over there, but he can put it. Okay, we're good. Just reserve the right to have another play, Rod.
Yep. The awareness right now for him is.
And you're right about the panic. There were times when he looked panicky when things weren't going, when he didn't see it right.
Yeah, I mean, but that's for young. That's with a lot of young quarterbacks. But with him right now, you can tell he's a third-year veteran in this system, and it's making all the difference.
Yep. And by the way, those NFL scouts, Jerry, are watching a lot of future NFL players. There's a lot of money to be made here, especially in those trenches. Rod mentioned Jake Majors, and, can you handle these guys? I'm sure that was Kyle Flood's message. I mean, you guys can make yourself a lot of money here today. Kelvin Banks is going to be a top 10 pick, but you guys can put yourself on radar.
Gunnar Hill making money.
Hey, by the way, so we've had some comments in the chat, but while we're getting back to the play action, North Crowley did beat DeSoto last night. I don't think that's an upset. DeSoto lost their quarterback. North Crowley is extremely talented. Their only loss last year was to Duncanville. North Crowley's for real, one of the more talented programs in DFW, and that's saying something. I think North Crowley and Duncanville are on a collision course once again. All right, Rod Babers.
Wow.
Anish Singh has a question. Should we expect more from Nyblack going forward? I think, Rod, that's interesting because Nyblack and Silas Bolden, what this has done is given Sark time to get those guys more comfortable, maybe behind in the playbook a little bit from where the other guys are, right? Even though Nyblack was here in the spring, I think he's had a little bit of issues picking up the playbook from what we've heard, but it's going to be that's why I think Texas' ceiling is so high, Rod, because Bolden and Nyblack are going to – these guys still have a ways to go as a team offensively.
Yep.
This team offensively, the second half of the season, is going to be even better than what we're watching here. And that's kind of scary for the opposition, maybe outside of Georgia, is because Georgia's got tons of talent too. But this Texas offense, these guys are still young in this scheme.
Yeah, they are. It's a good point. And, you're so deep, right? There's so much depth. I just think, a guy like Ryan Wingo, by the end of the season, he could end up being one of your top three best wide receivers. A guy like DeAndre Moore has really gained the trust of the coaches, and yet we haven't even really seen him much as an impact player on the field in the first two games because of the depth at wide receiver. I haven't seen a group this deep at Texas ever. I don't know if we've had a group of wide receivers ever this deep. I can't remember one. We've had I think you've had the kind of elite level receivers before at Texas. Jordan Shipley's the GOAT in my opinion. Roy Williams was one of those guys, high level receiver. David Worthy, I think, was a elite level receiver. Ended up being a first rounder. But there's no way we've had this many high level receivers in my time that I can remember. There was a 4 to 6 deep. Legitimately. By
the way, they're reviewing this for a targeting, which would be BS on Lafau. If Leon Lafau, if they call this targeting, he's ejected. He misses the first half next week. Not that it matters a lot against UTSA, but it's still
even more reason to.
Oh. For sure.
Oh, there you go. So
also, by the way, UTSA, the Longhorns' next opponent's got Texas State this afternoon. That's a big game up on I-35.
Hey, look, we need that is your interview for the Baylor job right there. G.J. Kinney and Jeff Traylor. G.J. Kinney played for Jeff Traylor at Gilmer. They're interviewing for the Baylor job if that opens today. That's it. That game's very important to both of those guys.
Yeah.
like
Well, and that's a rivalry game on I-35. That's he was in Jeff Traylor's son's wedding. He's groomsmen. I mean, that's like family, those two for sure.
Hey Rod, I'm going to be interested on your second watch. Jelani McDonald showing up in this game. Jelani McDonald looks like he's taking a big step right now for Texas to me. I'll be interested on your second watch.
Yeah, I don't know how much
he's in the right place right now. That is key for a kid with his level of talent.
No, I love his skill set. Oh,
yeah, Rod, you keep pointing out, but everything they try to do is, I mean, even getting a yard is hard for them right now.
It is, man. It's tough sledding for Michigan right now. They just cannot get anything. There's no easy yards. Texas isn't deceived by anything they're doing, and I wonder if it's just Michigan and they're very rudimentary as an offense, right? And they just don't really have anything, but I still don't know.
Field on Bill Norton for crying out. Oh, they did call it. Yeah, I was going to say it's happening with this internet.
Hey, by the way, you know what makes this even sweeter? Sharon Moore played at Oklahoma.
A Sooner.
Yeah. Yeah, for Bob Stoops.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep, it is. It's a whooping right now.
It is.
You can't hold that 15. You're going to get flagged for that every time you hold a 15 if you're an offensive lineman.
He looks slim out there.
Hey, Bill Norton threw that. He wore that number. One, it was a dream, but two, he knew he'd get a holding call. If you hold 15, the flag's coming in football.
He stands out anyway because he's wearing 15. He's a big man. He's already going to stand out.
Yeah. And he's 6'6". He's a monster. But that's a big dude. That's the biggest 15 I've ever seen. You know, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a bigger 15. He stretches out those numbers. The 1 and the 5's got some.
Oh.
Hey, Rod, we don't get to talk about it
Without a
because
penalty, Rod.
we don't get to talk about it because of the Michigan wide receivers not being able to really stretch the field. But Manny Muhammad is just attached in coverage on every play.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's been fantastic so far. He had one play where Torrey Horton, Ja'Day Barry,
yeah,
but that was because Taft bumped him. Taft was coming down in coverage and he bumped him off coverage.
Yeah,
the only time I've seen him not attached when he got bumped off by his own guy. Ooh, yeah.
Rich is going to go for it, obviously.
All right, what choice do they have?
You know, if you're Texas, you almost like him to get it and just keep that clock running. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you know the offense they're not a threat to really score quickly.
Yeah.
They gotta march down the field to do it. You almost want them to barely get it, and you're like, all right, there we go. That's another 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's going to take you another 2.5 minutes to get another first down if you get one. Here he comes. Right at him. Great throw. Good throw that time.
That far and few in between. Ooh, good pressure though.
Who'd they bring there?
Is
That's
that
LaFau.
Taft? Is that LaFau? Okay, I thought it was You're right, that was LaFau. Was it? No, that was
Might have been Taft.
Taft Daddy. I think that was Taft Daddy. Yeah, I thought he came from the secondary. That was Taft Daddy.
Now we're playing, Rod. We're playing a little more off in the coverage here on this drive. Willing to let him work the clock a little bit. I'd like to see a little more aggressiveness, but I get it.
Yeah, and they got no choice but to work inside. I don't know if Davis Warren can make a lot of throws outside the numbers and stuff like that. That's the thing about the DBs. You know that he can't make certain throws. You don't have to defend.
There's Colin Simmons, y'all. There's Colin Simmons coming. That's going to be his first sack of his career if he got him behind the line of scrimmage. Yep,
he did.
2-yard loss.
He's going to get 8 sacks this year. He's just getting started, guys. Colin Simmons is going to be sacking the quarterback this year. He's got too much BGO, as Rod says. Too much BGO not to have a 7-8 sack season. He'll be the next Texas guy to get 10 plus his second year at Texas.
I like that.
Well, whoever's lining up around that right tackle's having a hell of a hard time. Hey, Jerry, he is bringing pressure. That was Jade coming that time.
That was Jade. Yep, exactly. So they're playing off, but bringing the extra blitzer, Rod, is what they're doing.
The ball's
they're playing
come
off,
out
but
quick.
bringing the fifth. Yep.
Yeah.
And Alfred Collins got his big hand on that one, tipped it away. Got a little tip there.
Thing about that too with it, Davis Warren. If you've noticed him against Fresno last week in his first start, long release, drops the ball below the water sometimes. If defensive linemen have long arms, play with their eyes, you can get batted passes against him. He's got long arms, so that's a negative. Long release, drops the ball below the water. So what he's seeing with his eyes, he is 2 split seconds late getting the ball out of his hand sometimes. It's a good place to be if you're a defensive lineman with your eyes up.
Yep. And when you're 6'6", like Alfred Collins is, that helps even more. But yes, this is perfect for Texas. I know Longhorn fans would like to get the ball back and score some more points, but this is going to end up being even if they score a touchdown, it's going to be a 8-minute drive for crying out loud, which is what you're on third down in this game.
Yeah, Michigan. Like I said, I think Michigan's got now some bigger issues. This is not that Texas is really good. Texas is good. I do not want to take away from Texas and what they did here. Texas defense is good. It's a hard defense to move the football against. Colorado State, even Michigan showed you that. But Michigan's got some deeper identity issues as a program right now. You know, hardball football is a very specific brand of football, and if you want to try to replicate that, you know, it's hard to do without hardball. So I wonder if now they're going to kind of switch up. You know, still obviously want to play power football, but they are not what they were last year. So football and life are constant struggles, deciding between what you want to be and what you need to be. And right now, what they need to be is something totally different. They won't even have a downfield passing game. Like, I don't know, in the modern age of football, how you win games that way. Unless you're an option team. You might let Oregon get in there and just start running option. Like, I have no idea.
Here's where Michigan, I think, is really going to be tested in their locker room. Is it doesn't take long once there's a major change like this and you have a loss like this to start questioning people. Are they going to erode after this? Because look, a lot of these guys accomplished the goal last year. They won the national championship. We talked about this. They were playing for a purpose, and Coach Harbaugh and everything last year. Everybody rallied around it. Well, they got it done. They may have an asterisk in a few years, but they got it done. Now you take a loss like this, different team, different leadership, and that goes all the way down to strength and conditioning coach. You've had some things happen there. Sharon Moore's first D-line coach got arrested for DUI first week on the job, had to replace him. You have the looming NCAA chaos still there. Does it start to erode for this team after this? We talk about culture all the time. Their culture, their leadership is really going to be tested the rest of the way, because the reality for Texas, you want Michigan to go win 8 or 9 games. You don't want them to be a crap team this year. You 100%. Want the win to look good at the end of the year.
Yeah, good point.
You're right about that, 100%. And yeah, when we talk about leadership, it's going to have to be new guys too. They lost so much to the draft. Golly, they're going to have some new guys step in and step up and take those roles. And I don't know who that's going to be for the Wolverines. It's got to be on defense for sure. But it's a team that's got issues. Let me tell you real quick, as they're going to go for it on fourth down again. They got it the last time. Fourth quarter, brought to you by my buddy Anthony Hippolito. He's running for sheriff of Hays County. If you don't live in Hays County, that's okay. But if you have friends, relatives that live down in Hays County, go ahead and tell them to vote for Anthony. I've known him 30 years. I've known him 25 years. He's 30 years in law enforcement. He's got the endorsement of Sheriff Cutler right now. He works for Sheriff Cutler. He wants to be your sheriff. So vote for him in early November. Get out to that ballot box and vote for Anthony Hippolito. He's a heck of a good guy, and he is an avid On Texas Football viewer. Loves being a part of the community with On Texas Football. All right, guys, here it is, another fourth down attempt, and almost a sack. And now, that's what are they going to call that? That's not a forward pass, is it?
Oh, hold up.
So some people in the chat were just asking, where's the stud edges, Texas? I mean, I don't know, but number 11's Colin Simmons. He had a sack. He just got another hurry. I mean, Colin Simmons has dominated this series. You're asking where the freshman edges are, why we're not getting any pressure. This is his – look at 11. Watch the game. Jeez. Yeah. What do you want? What do you want to go untouched and have 4 sacks in a possession?
Well, look, I know that
really good players.
Well, and Trey Moore's had some impact off the edge against that right tackle, and Barron Sorrell's got loose and hit the quarterback right in the mouth on that overthrow that corner route Rod was talking about earlier. I see better pressure, Rod. Stickier coverage and better pressure so far, right?
Yeah, and I see better schemes. Honestly, I like the more exotic schemes. Like I said, I can't talk about the NASCAR dime. On the last play that was in that NASCAR dime package that I think is a Johnny Nansen exotic that he brought over with him. So I think you see it more. You just guys. I think the fans want to see splash plays. They want to see it result in sacks. They want to see it result in strip sacks. They want to see it result in big wow splash plays, tackles for loss. But I think if you're watching the film, you can see them collapsing the pocket more with more consistency. And by the way, against Colorado State, guys, that's just their scheme is why you didn't see a lot of those plays because they got rid of the football really quickly and they shut down the passing game pretty much. So you didn't see the pressure there. And with Michigan, this is not a game where Michigan's not even a team that is prepared to throw the football very much. And I think you're starting to see the pressure get to them in predictable passing situations. So I'm with you guys. I think I don't think you're getting the splash plays you want, but I think it's definitely having more of an impact than it did last year.
Yeah, and again, no touchdowns allowed through 2 games so far. Defense playing well. Offense has been efficient. And now we'll see. Do we see Arch Manning here?
We should. I want him.
Should.
Yeah.
I would not. I mean, look, I wouldn't bring Qunn back out there. These guys were getting chippy. You would hate to see some late hit BS play. I would let Arch get some time here. Quinn's done his job. He had a hell of a day. He's made great decisions. I would let Arch get a little experience in a game like this.
I agree. On a big stage. It's the perfect time for it, too.
Yeah, I'd go with a couple of young guys. He and Jarek Gibson, get him in there, run this ball, and use this clock. I'd love to see it. Ryan Wingo, we already saw him with an explosive run. By the way, 23 handoffs today by my count, guys. I mean, 34 passes for Qunn, but they've handed the ball off 23 times to 4 different players. Jaden Blue, the leader, with 9. But we also know that Blue has 6 catches on the outside, so he's got 15 touches for his yards and a touchdown. What do you think of the allotment of balls and usage, Rod?
Oh, I think it's been great, and I guarantee if you count the number of passes, at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, those were your extended handoffs, your really high percentage second nature throws for Qunn. I bet that to me that number will be high in terms of the really high percentage throws that to me are just an extension of the run game. You had a lot of those as well to Jaden Blue out in the flat, out on the perimeter, out on the edge. As you pointed out, that touchdown essentially that's a sweep. It ain't a sweep, but it's the same dynamics of a sweep, an easy throw for Qunn. But the thing about that throw is, for a lot of quarterbacks, it's an easy, high percentage throw. It means you'll connect all the time. But when you put it on the money to the running back so he can catch it in stride and then get the yak opportunities and that the run to daylight philosophy in Sark's offense, and that's why Quinn's so compatible with it.
100%. It is Qunn Ewers here. Thought maybe we see Arch Manning here, but still 8 minutes to go, halfway through the fourth quarter. Longhorns comfortably up. And, great game plan for Sark. Defense has been outstanding against a challenged Michigan offense, but they've forced that issue here, not giving up anything easy. And I think the no turnovers so far, guys, is really, really big. The no turnovers is really big. Hey, a pony package for Rod. No turnovers. I mean, that was really the one way for Michigan to be in this game, and the Longhorns have not turned the ball over.
I'm trying to think about how many plays they've had that have been turnover-worthy kind of plays where they've even been close to a turnover. I think there was a play where Qunn almost threw a pick. It was like
he threw one where he and Isaiah Bond kind of miscommunicated, I think. And that was the one you'd want back. But other than that, no. I mean, it's a real clean game. And there's Jarek Gibson off the running behind Kelvin Banks again. I like that play. That's another big gainer for Jarek.
Jarek Gibson looks good.
He's got great body lean. I just love the way he just looks like he's going to run and gain yards every time he gets the ball.
Hey, look, Aaron, if you haven't seen him in person, I mean, when I say 5'9" and a quarter, 205, 210, that's him. I mean, Rod saw him. He is rocked up. He's been doing push-ups since he was about a month old, man. I mean, this dude's rocked up now.
Yeah, and it looks like here he comes. He's going to be the barrel back here to ride this thing if he can and try to milk this clock and get out of here. He's a nice looking player. Well, I noticed that last week, and he, as you predicted, he'd go for over 100 in the second half. He almost did. What's the flag here? Guys, remember coming up on the post-game show, Rod and Bobby and Tony Hills will be a part of the post-game. So as this game winds down, Longhorns are going to be the talk of college football all day Saturday and into the weekend and into next week. Really, really impressive performance here today. Another good flick of the wrist for Qunn right there.
Tell you, man, he's just you can just put the game in his hands. You really can. I feel like, and I said it right after the Cedric Baxter injury, I would just give the offense to Qunn. I feel confident being pass heavy with him and how poised and calm and cool and collected he is right now against any team in the country, even Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you say that, Rod. I think all of our audience did too. And it was this says, hold on, look at this. Hook 'em from Ireland, lads. This is a big
Hey!
Yeah, it's the evening over in England or in Ireland. So grab yourself a pint. That's a nice thing to do. There's a holding call on Amari Niblack there that negated that play. So the Longhorns were first and 20.
Come on.
Yeah, Amari Niblack with a hole. That was a good throw. Yeah, I mean, Rod, when you said that, it's like, yeah, but I think there were still some fans who wanted to see it. And in a game like this, and now you're seeing it, he's just in total command of everything Sark wants to do and this offense wants to be. And it's really, really impressive. And this, again, this will, whoa, now there's your chippiness, Jerry, you're talking about. And still no penalty called. This will be the talk of college football today and into Monday, Rod. I mean, this will be the storyline.
And they deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve it. They really do. They've handled the business. They looked really impressive in both their wins. And this is what we've talked about. The standard is the standard. Play to the standard. Even if you're playing against a down Michigan team that's a bad cover version of hardball football, it don't matter. The standard is the standard. That's right. And even if you're playing against Colorado State, the standard is the standard.
Here, I want to say this too. Look, now people out there are going to start saying Michigan's a bad football team, right? Michigan has a lot of NFL draft picks on this team. Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart, the middle backer, Will Johnson. These guys are still NFL draft picks on this team. Texas, I don't want anything to take away from what Texas did today. There's not going to be any, Michigan's not good talk from me. Michigan has a bunch of NFL players on their team. Texas just happened to go in there and whip their butt today. So again, Michigan's got their offensive problems like Rod's saying, but as far as 1 through 85 talented teams, this is going to be a top 4 talented team Texas plays in the regular season this year. And they just went into their house and beat their butt. So the talk is going to be out of Michigan. They're going to go 5-7, 6-6 this year. They're going to have 8 or 9 guys drafted off this team. Texas just went in there and worked them over. So we got to give them credit while also understanding what Rod's saying offensively. They got major issues on offense, but they still have good athletes and good players. You don't win a national championship and fall off the map.
Their big issues are on offense. Defensively, this is still, I'm telling you guys, it's one of the best defenses in the country. That offense for Texas is just really tough to handle. It's just it's a lot of problems you got to solve all at one time.
And so, see, this is somebody comes in the chat. Their talent can't be that good. Total wipeout. Michigan's a talented football team. I mean, they'll
have how many first rounders? 2 first rounders, maybe 3 with Colston Loveland.
No, they're going to have 7 or 8 guys drafted off this team this year. I mean, they have good football players.
This was the same narrative after Texas beat Bama. Same narrative. Remember, it was like Nick Saban. He lost it. Nick Saban, he's terrible. See, Nick Saban, it's a down team, and Nick Saban, he's basically lost his ability to be an elite coach, and they still made it to the college football playoff. It's just, you're right. I think you got both things can be true. That Texas is a good team. Yeah, Texas is a good team. Also, Michigan has a lot of NFL players in Texas, which is that good on the road.
Yeah. Well, and
here's what we know after 2 games, guys. Texas speed that we talked about is freaking real.
It's elite.
Well, yeah, I mean the size and the speed, right? The big guys. I mean the trenches are solid. As I've said, they haven't given up a touchdown in 2 games yet. Just 2 field goals here today. But I think there's no question to what the Texans are saying. And Rod has been pointing out all through this second half that they can't throw the ball down the field, and that's a huge advantage to a defense to not have to worry about that. But the offensive performance in the first half was like tremendous against a very, very, very good defense to go up and down the field. And then, you guys, it was 24 in the first half. It could have been 31. It could have been 34 if they don't have. Yeah. I mean, that was a clinic offensively against on the road with some wind up there against a really, really good team on that side of the ball. I think they're really bad offensively, but man, that's a really good defense. And that's what's won this game, to be able to put the separation change. I mean, Michigan, this is the second week in a row, guys, that the opponent is essentially waving the white flag. Like, y'all get out of here. We got bigger things coming, or we got to get ready for the next week, because Michigan plays USC in 2 weeks. They've got to get a lot better in 2 weeks for that game. This game's been decided since halftime.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, it felt, that run at the end of the Sark run is coming.
You're right, Rod. 100%.
When they had that run at the end of the first half, I knew it. I was like, the game's over. Michigan cannot withstand that kind of run. They just don't have the offense to do it. And that's exactly what put the game away. And I think after we watched Michigan start the second half with no urgency, no up-tempo, like Jerry said, they can't break their identity. They can only break tendency. Yeah. You as Texas, you almost force them to, obviously from 21 points down to have to break identity. And even when they tried to do it, they didn't do it very well. Turn the football over.
Well, think about it. I mean, if they go on a little bit of a drive here, they're going to pull even in time of possession. It was a 10-minute gap after the first half. They're the ones taking the air out of the ball in this second half, y'all. I mean, they're the ones that want to get out of here.
Yeah, they can't do anything. I mean, they can't run 2-minute offense and come back from 3 down. I mean, it's just not happening. But look, what they're doing now, I'll tell you what, Texas being up is going to help Michigan later this season. Texas being up big, it's giving them a chance to get in a little rhythm in the passing game, which will help Michigan down the road. Because when Texas was playing aggressive, they weren't getting in any rhythm in the passing game. So this is actually going to help Davis Warren a little bit with Texas playing more off coverage, letting him hit some rhythm throws here. That's actually going to help the Michigan passing game a little bit from a rhythm standpoint with a first-year starter.
There's a nice throw. I mean, it's just like background football when their backyard football, just run all the way to the end sideline and throw it up.
And that's nothing you can do as a defense, man. When the quarterback's making those kind of plays, the coverage has deteriorated. That's not much you can do. But look how hard it is for them to get those yards, man. That's what you're supposed to do as a defense. Make it tough. This is them beating you left-handed. This is not what Michigan wants to do. And for the second week in a row, and maybe this is the Johnny Nansen effect for real, guys.
Look at that throw. The ball's on the ground. Ball's on the ground. Makuba forced it. They're going to call it a catch. That could be another forced turnover by Andrew Makuba. Yep, it is. They're giving it to Texas. Big hit by number 4. What a game he's played.
Will they even review this is the question.
That's going to be 4 turnovers forced if it counts. And Andrew Makuba's been involved in most of them.
Who recovered it? Who recovered the fumble?
I think Derek Williams.
So the secondary's gotten all the turnovers?
Yeah.
Definitely a fumble. Definitely a fumble. Yeah. Secondary, Derek Williams has an interception fumble recovery.
Yeah. Secondary's got all the turnovers. Nice.
Hey, look at Ty Anthony Smith in this game for Texas. Ty Anthony Smith, for those that follow recruiting, Ty Anthony Smith's going to be a tremendous linebacker for Texas, a tremendous player for Texas. He just needs another year to keep adding that weight, getting stronger. But Ty Anthony Smith's going to be a dang good player, man. By the way, people are asking what this does for recruiting. Look, it's all how you finish it off. But I'm here to tell you, everybody's going to answer Texas phone calls. I mean, and that's the key is you're not going to get everybody. You're not going to sit here and go on a run. These recruitments are different. Everybody's different. There's more individual recruitments than ever because of NIL. But what this does, Texas can continue to expand their net. They can continue to get more kids on campus. The more kids you get on campus, the better your evaluations are because you're not just evaluating the film, you're evaluating the person and the family. That's what Nick Saban had going for him for years. He could get anybody he wanted on campus, Rod, And when you do that, you can turn down a 5-star for another kid that's a high 4-star because you think he's a better fit for you. That's when you're recruiting at the highest level. And this win gives Texas more opportunities to do that. There's going to be more kids want to come to a Texas game and want to come check out Texas. That is, I mean, let's talk about this, and I will talk about it in the post game. Think about beating Nick Saban on the road last year by 10, and he retires, and you beat the defending national champs. Whether they're the same team or not, it doesn't matter. It's Michigan. You've won at Alabama and you've won at Michigan in back-to-back years by double digits. That's a hell of an accomplishment for Steve Sarkisian and Quinn Ewers and this team.
Yep. It is.
They called that incomplete, guys. They called that incomplete, no turnover.
Ah, come on, man. Damn it.
No, but you're dead right, Jerry. I mean, this is back-to-back center stage impressive performances by this program. And obviously this program has higher aspirations this year than just this, but they're showing that they're capable of reaching those heights, and they have a quarterback that can take them there without a doubt. But yeah, that turnover overruled here. It's going to be an incomplete pass for the Longhorns. But guys, I mean, real quick, Arkansas, I mean, Oklahoma State's come back to taking the lead on Arkansas now. It's 28-21. Yeah, K-State has pulled ahead of Tulane. They were struggling there in New Orleans. But yeah, it was 21-7 early, but looks like Arkansas has stalled, and Ollie Gordon's picked it up for your Oklahoma State Cowboys in the Big 12.
And Ollie Gordon's a guy who gets better as the game goes on. He's that guy. The more carries he gets, the more he can pound you, the better he gets as the game moves along. So that's actually noteworthy for Arkansas's defense. You knew they'd be improved offensively with Bobby Petrino. And Taylon Green, who's a good fit for him. But defensively, what do they have this year is going to be big for them. They're better offensively. They're an improved team. Look at Colin Simmons. You're asking about the edge rushers?
Wow.
It's like Superman on that play.
Colin Simmons has dang near dominated the last 2 series.
Yeah, he was like Superman. He's talking to the tackle. Well, I'm coming again. By the way, in that game, Ollie Gordon only has 28 yards rushing. It's Jaquindon Jackson, the former Longhorn, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's at 129 yards, 139 yards for here he comes, Trey Moore. By the way, 28 all now in that game in Stillwater, by the way. 28 all as this game winds down.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good play. Good play.
Look, so people have been wondering where's the edge rush? Where's the edge rush? This is the first time you've seen where they can pin their ears back and just go use their BGO and their twitch and their pass rush ability. This is great for Texas to have on film because these coaches don't watch 3 quarters. They watch it all, and they're going to see these guys say, whoa, they do have more edge rush ability this year.
Yeah,
this is really good for Texas, what's going on right now.
Yeah, last year you would get up big in games, right? And then you would give up those leads because teams were able to abandon the run game and just throw the football on you. That's not going to happen this year. Now with the edge rush and now with the way the DBs are playing, that ain't going to happen. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, again, Michigan's going to end up leading this game in time of possession when it's done, which is crazy. It was 20-10 at halftime. They're the ones bleeding this clock.
Wave the white flag. That's a waving of the white flag in the second half. It's like, no, we're good, man. We're not trying to rush this. So we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as Jerry said, you're not going to break tendency or identity, as you said, but I mean, there's no tempo at all. They're not doing anything. It's like, guys, we're done. We're done, son. Let's get out of here.
They're trying to go home. They're ready to go. They've seen enough.
Yeah.
As we all have.
Yeah, well, it's impressive. DB's having a field day, Rod. You should be happy. RB21. Texas looking good against the run. If Texas stays healthy, they're going to have a good year. Yeah, I think they've lived up to expectation through 2 games. Sky's the limit for this team. They know there's monster matchups with. It just doesn't look like a team, guys. As I've said it all lead up to the season that they got 4 huge games: Michigan, Georgia, A&M, and Oklahoma. If they go 2-2 in those and win the rest, they're going to be in the playoff. Now they're 1-0. They got one of those down. They look like a team, Rod and Jerry, that are deep enough to not mess around with the teams, the lesser teams on their schedule. It's going to be about those 4 big games.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, how many teams can score with Texas? after today because Michigan's still a good defense. That'll be proven out unless they quit and have some internal problems. They're a really good defense. I think they're a top 2-3 defense Texas will play this year. So, Rod, who can score with Texas? Some of these games will come down to Texas not losing themselves, not having a 3 turnover game, having a 2 pick 6 or strip 6 type turnover game. Who can score in the SEC with Texas on this schedule? That's what's going to be interesting to me. And I know Oklahoma, it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. They're going to have to get their offensive line solved to score with Texas. I know Q&A is on there saying OU and UGA. I think UGA definitely can, but Oklahoma's got some offensive line issues and maybe a quarterback issue. We'll see on them.
Yeah. No, I know the score was wide with Oklahoma and Temple last Friday night, but they did not. I mean, I saw what you saw, Jerry. I mean, it was all about Temple turnovers, and that defense is going to be good. But can Oklahoma score with this offense that, they've taken their foot off the gas here in the second half, but if not for a ticky-tack holding call, they're 31-0 at halftime at Michigan. This team's going to score points week in, week out.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, look, so here's the thing. If Texas can put up 30, let's just say they put up 34 this year in the Cotton Bowl, is this Oklahoma team going to score 37? I think Texas would have to have turnovers and breakdowns for that to happen, unless the Oklahoma team, offensive line and quarterback we saw against Temple, unless they make big steps. Now, Georgia, I think they have the offensive line to travel and control the game a little bit more and do some really good things with their quarterback. But how many teams can score with Texas is going to be – if Texas averages 34 points a game in the SEC play, let's just say they did, because they put up 31 at Michigan today against a defense that's better than what they'll see outside of Georgia probably. How many teams are going to be able to outscore that number?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a great combo. It's wicked. And offense and defense. They were offense really heavy last year, and then the defense would put you in shootouts at times. I don't know that we see that with the improvement of the pass rush and the secondary and just the depth. I mean, the depth helps you separate in these games as well, because they're through 2 weeks. There's really been no drop-offs from their 1s to their 2s when they go to them. All right, guys, coming up the post-game show with Bobby and Rod and Tony Hills. Is this the best offensive line since Tony Hills was playing? I got to think it was. There it is.
Got to be. Yep.
I got to drop off.
Yep.
All right, there you go. Yeah. I mean, they handled their business today. I mean, we'll talk about Qunn and the skill guys, but Davis Warren's making some throws.
He's showing a little bit actually in this game. He's showing a little bit. Yeah.
This is their offense. Roll to the right, and make a backyard football throw.
And he's throwing like across his body, which sometimes you're supposed to be doing. It's like, hey, that's a no-go. You're not supposed to do that. And he's doing it, making some plays.
Yeah.
Making some plays. There you go. Too little, too late. But, hey, I see him making some plays.
He might have been in. That might have been a touchdown. That might have been the Longhorns. I think it's real close.
Oh, yeah. His foot. Oh, no. Depends on his foot went out of bounds first. Ooh. He might have
they are going to look at it.
He might have been crossed it.
They are going to look at it. Well, I mean, that likely is going to end the Longhorns' touchdown list streak on defense. But
come on.
But this really, folks, if you've been watching this whole series, it's roll to the right, and this is a video game kind of thing.
Keep the play alive. Wait till the coverage deteriorates, and then find an open guy. And it's usually a contested catch. So it's not like it's not like he's wide open. Somebody was on him. It's a really good catch.
No, I mean, it's like when you were playing with the Nerf ball when you were a kid, just run around. All-time quarterback. Yeah.
But honestly, this may be more of what they're, like I said, life and football are a constant struggle, deciding between what you want to be and what you need to be. You want to be hardball football. That ain't really, I don't know if you can be hardball football. You might have to go another route. Your defense can still keep you in every game, but I don't know if you're going to be able to move the football trying to play hardball football, because you're not a dominant running team either. You don't have a dominant running attack.
No. And this is probably going to be a touchdown, but either way, he's making plays with his Nerf football, and this is going to, this might do, guys, is allow Longhorn fans to see little Arch Manning, right? Is Arch Manning going to come in this next series, even if this is a touchdown?
Oh man,
I would think so.
Yeah, I'm shocked we didn't see him. I'm shocked we hadn't seen him already. I was surprised that we've seen. And guys, he trusts Qunn so much. I believe there was like a 2nd and long before in their last drive where Texas threw the football like straight drop back with Qunn. With up 31-6. That's how much he trusts Qunn at this point. Man, he's like, nah, Qunn, I know you ain't gonna go out there and do nothing stupid. You good? Just go out there and do your thing. He's open.
I mean, that's a great point, Rod. I mean, you're now trusting him more and more and more, and that's only going to grow as this season goes on because you can feel like it's going to be the case, but then you got to see it in a hostile environment like this. We've seen it big time. So that's going to be a touchdown. They'll obviously go for 2. Try to.
So it doesn't look as bad for people who didn't watch the game, but if you watch the game, you know.
31-14. Here, hey, Texas gets to work on onside kick defense.
That's true.
You get the little work here.
And I think you work on quarterback contain a little bit.
Yeah, I think because Jerry, part of that is that Jerry's pointed out, Colin Simmons has been coming off the edge, and they're just letting him come, and they're going outside around him, and everybody's dropping in coverage. Yeah, but any contested catch, they're not getting it. All right, so 31-12. I think my pick was 31-17 for this. Not I think it was for this game, but and I remember saying I've been going 31-17 Texas, but can Michigan get to 17 was my question. So far, so good on that. 2 minutes to play. Do we already have our 2-minute warning? We're going to do that now. Good night, nurse.
I think it happens.
We already had it.
Okay.
Or was that the review? I think we already had it. This might be Arch Manning, guys. What's coming up on post game, Jerry, Rob? What are you guys going to be knocking around? The game itself, obviously.
Bobby, Rod, and Tony Hills will be giving high fives. I'm gonna listen to you guys a little bit. I'm gonna jump in as well, listen to you guys. But look, I think it's going to be a lot of this. I think will be about how far this program has come under Sark.
Yeah,
I mean, in a kind of a real thought to that. I want Tony and Rod's thoughts on that because again, I think what's going to happen here is. You win at Alabama last year on the road, week 2. You win at Michigan. I don't care if it's not the same team that won the national title yet or not. They're still a really good defense. I have a bunch of NFL players. But those are 2 road wins, the game 2 years in a row that are hard to come by in college football. And I think if we may not – take time and reflect on this enough after this game, what this really means, onside kick defense, here you go, what this really means for Steve Sarkisian in this program. These are Alabama was prime time. Let's call this prime time TV viewing. These are massive wins for your program. And what Texas has done now, guys, they followed up a playoff season. They didn't settle. Sark had the term obsessed. I thought this was a great team to coach for a coaching staff because they got close to the mountaintop. They didn't get there, and they still haven't got there. They got it. They still got work to do, but they've shown last year wasn't a fluke. This program is still ascending under Steve Sarkisian. And people, I don't care what the national media says after this game. Michigan's not going to be a good team this year. Bull crap. Texas won at Alabama by double digits. They dominated a game at Michigan. How many teams have dominated a game at Michigan, even in their 8-4 years? How many times did they just get dominated? These are big wins for this program.
Yeah, the 8-4 year was lack of depth, and then blowing fourth quarter leads and having a young quarterback who was playing like a young quarterback at times. But obviously, to your point, I think they've made the statement that they belong in the big picture national conversation in the upper tier, the elite programs, in college football in 2024. And as you're saying, and beyond, because the recruiting is not going to slow down. This is only going to push that. I like how you said obsessed. That was Sark's word. And they played the first 2 weeks like a team that is obsessed to put themselves into that conversation. And now the question is going to be, the next month, Jerry, I mean, it's 3 games where they're going to be a 3-touchdown favorite at least against UTSA, Mississippi State, and Louisiana Monroe. Then it's a bye week, so you essentially now have a month to get ready for Oklahoma, Georgia in that back-to-back. I mean, that's essentially to get as healthy as possible, to use as many players as possible, 3 straight weeks plus a bye week, and then it's Oklahoma and then Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, look, the next 2 weeks, I mean, I'm not saying they won't be – UTSA can't give Texas a competitive game, but this is not – the same Texas UTSA played 2 years ago, where Sark was bringing in the talent, and he was trying to get the talent to Texas. This is 3 straight top 5 class to be a blue blood in the portal. The next 2 games for Texas are really getting these young guys more reps, more depth, building that depth. The next 2 games, getting ready for SEC play. The script could not be going any better for Sark right now this season. Now the next 2 weeks, he gets to play all this talent he's recruited, keep getting those guys experience, get some of the snaps off some of the older players so they don't play as many snaps, get some work for the young guys. Keep building, keep building, keep building. That's what this win has done today. It allows Texas to keep building right on track where they want to be.
And maybe the launch of the Qunn Ewers for Heisman campaign. It's been fun, guys. Thank you to Anthony Hippolito. Vote for Anthony in November. Also, my buddy Richard Strever and One Source Gas and the Spreadwise app. Download that for your elimination pools this week. Bid you adieu. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Coach Sipley, Rod Babers, Jerry, of course. Get ready for the postgame show coming next on the On Texas Football Channel. Longhorns win 31-12.